We have not a fucking moment to lose, my friends. Not one. We have 0 moments to lose. Not 2. Not 1. 0. We have no time to waste. Hey! Hello, it is me, Vosh, leftist extraordinaire. How the fuck are you doing? Well, I hope. My cough is still acting up. We'll see where that takes us. Let me pop a cough drop. All donos will be read after I'm done rambling. DPST, I saw your dono and I love you too. Listen up, folks. Listen up. We have something very special to cover today. But before we cover that very special thing, a quick moment in cringe. Really quickly. You guys know Bad Mouse Productions, right? We all know Bad Mouse Productions, right? Okay? So Bad Mouse Productions has apparently been, going down more of a tanky road lately. I don't fucking know. I'm not repeating the whole fucking tanky arc again, okay? But, like, he made a blog, and it's... and it's like this. Anyway, I've known Bad Mouse Productions doesn't like me for a while, because, okay, this was back during the major tanky arc, back in August, right? See, where I'm saying, like, fuck tankies, mock them, belittle them, fuck these people. And then he, like, jumped in and, like, started shit-talking me, right? And I engage with the shit-talking for a little bit before it becomes increasingly apparent that he has no... he's not making any points. Like, he has no idea what the fuck he's talking about, you know? Like, he just came in here kind of to shit stir. Like, you can look at it. These tweets are all public and stuff, you know? Like, go look at these... Look at the fucking tweets here. Like, he just jumps in here... You're the one doing ostracizing work and shit talks. And then I ask, so what claims do you think I'm even making here? And he responds with, that you're a nice, respectful, understanding, and non-antagonistic human being beats me. Leaving aside the high school tier snark, okay? I ask him if he's just being incoherently mad at me, and then he never responds. He jumped in here on a 5-tweet comment thread just to, like... Oh, you're so perfect, Vosh. You do plenty of bad work yourself. And then he dips out. So that was pretty fucking bad. But then, literally today, he fucking...
The airy-fairy, willy-nilly nonsense. I think we both know that we will not be holding hands in the revolution for very long, but at least we're not being dishonest, you know? And people will accuse us of being, oh, you're just being immature, all that sort of stuff. No, look, I will have that debate. We will have it with the right people, of course, not Volsh.
That is how a Brit bonger pronounces my name. Disgusting. Okay? So, some weird reason, 2 months later, he, like, unprompted shit talks me in a video, and then... I'm like, hey, Bad Mouse, what the fuck? You keep shit-talking me, and you never substantiate your point. You only shit-talk. You never explain why. And I ask if he wants to talk about it on stream. He responds with a picture of a sea lion, implying that... So for those of you who don't know, to sea lion... it's like in this comic right here. To sea lion is to constantly assault somebody with bad faith attempts at engaging in civil debate, right? So it'd be like if you walk up to a trans person and you're like, hey, listen, I'm just interested in the science of the matter. I thought gender was chromosomally linked. Are you interested in having this discussion? And just like on and on and on. That's what sea lying is, right? And like the trans person would be like, fuck off. And you'd be like, that's very uncivil of you. But he's accusing me of sea lioning when he made a video unprompted calling me out or mentioning me or shit-talking me and me asking to clarify once over Twitter. He is the most passive-aggressive clown I have ever seen. This is like actually pathetic. So, guys, in case I didn't do this with Thought Slime because I think that Thought Slime, like his heart is in the right place or whatever. But Bad Mouse is like an actual clown coward who is scared to debate me and masks that with like childlike passive aggressiveness and by accusing me of sea lining when he's the one who keeps mentioning me unprompted. So that's a good ass meme right there. If you have any respect for Bad Mouse, I ask you why, because this is like high school tier behavior here. Whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know. I'm not even trying to start shit with I fucking woke up this morning. Someone made a video calling me. I don't fucking know. Hey, listen. Alas, Bad Mouse is a good comrade. I genuinely find it difficult to believe that anyone who speaks in this manner could conceivably be a good comrade. I don't know. Like, there's a certain level of maturity that is necessary to be like a meaningful, like effective political advocate. And I can't fathom acting like that personally. Hey, listen. Folks, do you want to hear something great? Do you want to know why you should donate more money to me? Not really. But do you know why you should be thankful? I never vague post. I never do it. Isn't that wonderful? Where else on LeftTube are you going to get that? If I have a problem with somebody, I mention that person. If they want to know why, I'll substantiate it. I'll talk with them if they want to talk with me. It's incredible. But every single other fucking person on this platform vague posts like a motherfucker. Why do they do that? We're not in high school. Why? Why? I'm sorry. I'm super sorry. I'm 25 years old. I've been out of school for 2 years. Out of high school for 7. Okay? I'm good. I did it. I did my vague posting. I did it in high school. It was good. I'd go on Twitter and I'd go fucking, sure do wish the world had more people like me. Maybe then so-called friends wouldn't leave you out when going to the movies. Okay? That was great. I did it. I got it out of my system. I was 15 years old. Now I am an adult. I no longer vague post. Very simple. Very easy for me. Very easy. All I have to do, if I was in Bad Mouse's position, would say, here are the reasons why I don't like Vosh and don't want to talk to him. But instead of doing that, you could just accuse me of sea lioning for wanting you to clarify antagonism that you've directed my way and failed to substantiate multiple times. Why is pee pee poo poo good praxis? Can you substantiate that? Pee pee poo poo is good praxis because everyone pee pees and everyone poo poos. And that is a unifying thread that we can use to build sort of coalitions amongst non-lefties, you know? But we can't fuck around with the fun stuff all day, folks. We saw the fucking stream title. We saw it. We know why we're here. To listen to me cough, mostly. I'm gonna be choking back fucking cough drops the entire stream. I can feel it. Folks. In the past, I have done a less than stellar job of expressing my problems with the left. The reason for this is because I get frustrated when I feel as though I am arguing with people who are on my side. So I can argue with Nazis forever. I love it. It is very satisfying to me. No matter what they say. They can make fun of my weight, my appearance. They can call me a Jew. They can say I don't care. It's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. I want them dead, of course, but I do enjoy it. It's a fun game. It's not as fun for me when I'm arguing with people who are on the left. It's not as fun to be called transphobic by a trans person who is on the left. It's not as fun to be called a reactionary by someone who is on the left. It's not as much fun for me. Not just because these things are lies. They are, but the Nazis lie too. It's also because I really like left unity. I really like it. I like the idea of us getting along, you know? We can't get along with everyone, obviously. I mean, there are always going to be people we can't get along with. That's fine. I probably don't want, like, virulent racists in my midst. I don't want Nazbols here, you know? Just because somebody believes in a proletarian revolution doesn't necessarily mean I want them on the left, you know? But I think we could do more than we're currently doing, you know? And I want to talk once and for all. I think this is, I want to put it, we're putting it down on paper, okay? The 4 main problems that I have with the left today. 4 main problems. And we're going to talk about each one. And I'm going to try and do it in a way that does not ostracize the perspectives of those who typically disagree with me. Okay? That's the goal. All right? Now, before we do that, first things first, obviously, I have my own perspectives on this. Some people are going to disagree. The perspectives I lend to this are just a product of my admittedly, let's be fair, pretty successful ongoing effort to de-radicalize people and bring them over onto the left. Credit where credit's due. I do some things pretty well. And there are reasons why I do those things pretty well. I think those reasons are very, very, very important too, because if we applied them more broadly, I think we would see a greater likelihood of the left succeeding. And when I say the left succeeding, I don't mean of me making more money on Patreon or of me getting more donos or views or whatever. I don't even mean of BreadTube getting bigger. I mean making the left succeed in the sense that increasing the likelihood that we successfully build class consciousness, engage in a proletarian revolution down the line, and defend and advocate for the equality of marginalized communities that have typically found shelter from within the left. You blacks, you gays, you femoids, you trans people. These people. I don't want the left to succeed in some arbitrary, bland ideological. No, I want it to succeed because there are people and positions that I care about. And when I talk about the left, I'm mostly talking about the online English-speaking left. I only speak English. I don't know what the fuck you crazy fucking Portuguese speakers are up to. You fucking wilding out. I don't fucking know what you're up to. Germans? Check yourself, because I can't. I speak English. And I mostly talk about online because whether we like it or not, the internet currently is the front arm of most radicalization going on these days, particularly in the developed world. I mean, of course it is. Think about it. Steve Bannon was, basically a white nationalist, was in Trump's cabinet, and fucking Breitbart and the collaboration with the presidential administration, the extent to which places like Poll and 8chan have influenced real electoral politics, the fact that the risks involved with being a marginalized community or a member thereof are increasing in large part in tandem with propagandizing that stems from these online circles, and the fact that a lot of left-leaning radicalization is coming from online, from our spaces, from BreadTube, from what I do, from what ContraPoints and Sean and Ollie do. So the internet's important. The online left is broken. It's not functioning very well. I don't know if you've noticed, but the alt-right pipeline is a nearly flawless construction, and it has points that can take you from being an edgy high school libertarian, which a lot of high schoolers are, especially white boys, I would know, all the way over to being a literal neo-Nazi. And it's very easy to move in that direction. It's Gamergate really made it very apparent. It made it very transparent, in fact, this process, It's very easy. First, you're young, you're edgy, you're irreverent, maybe every once, you call people like fags or whatever, and you're edgy, but you're not necessarily a bad person. I know a lot of people don't believe it's possible to be a good person but also occasionally say slurs. I invite you to explore the world. I'm very sorry that your moral compass is so binary, but I can tell you there are people out there who will sometimes say fag, but are also fundamentally good people with decent politics, But it starts with the anti-SJW road online, It starts with people telling you that people are trying to take away your freedom of speech. And you go on and you watch the Thunderfoots, and you watch the Quarterings, and you watch the Sargon, and Sargon has literally been described as being a good pipeline to the alt-right, because if you're anti-SJW, that usually means you're reactionary. And if you're reactionary, that usually means you're going to side on the reactionary ends of politics, no matter how far extreme that goes. Sometimes that just means not using proper pronouns for trans people. Horrible, but not as bad as believing that America should be a white ethno-state. I assume we could agree on that, right? Not trying to alienate my trans audience or anything. Probably a little worse. White ethno-states? In my opinion, I don't know. And then you go and who is the one stopping the white ethno-state from happening? Well, it is, of course, the Jews. It is always the Jews. They have this figured out. They have it figured out. And I want to do the same. I want my own pipeline. Not me. I mean, I want our pipeline. And it needs to be better. And we need to learn from the lessons that the reactionaries, taught us. They did a good job building that system. They built a machine designed to make apolitical people neo-reactionaries in a very short period of time with very minimal individual monetary investment. That's unbelievably impressive. And much as were I some engineer tasked with dismantling the war machines of the Third Reich back in World War II, I now go and say, hey, fuck those guys, but also, they had a couple of good ideas when it came to implementation. They had a good system for achieving their very bad goals. And that's what I want to talk to you about. How do we build a more functional left, framed as a paint stream? Let's go, boys. I have 4 main problems with the left. 4 of them, okay? 4. Count it. 4, not 3, not 5. 4 problems. And we're going to talk about all of them, okay? I'm going to break this down into 4 videos when I release them, because these are going to be 4 separate points that I'll illustrate in 4 separate ways. And also because I love getting my 38 cents ad revenue per video. I love it. I love that ad revenue. I love it. All my videos get demonetized. Gatekeeping. The tendency for leftists, particularly online, to exclude other people from the left because they do not meet certain requirements. That's number 1. I have numbers 2 through 4 written down here on my phone, so I didn't forget them. The second one, purity testing, or woke scolding. They're basically the same thing, or at least they overlap so heavily that I can talk about them in the same subject. That would mean, purity testing, woke scolding, the process by which within a given social group you find accolades in testing other people's ideological purity. So how woke are you, so on and so forth. And there tend to be social consequences for not doing that. This is a thing that happens. Come on. I've been in leftist spaces for a long time online. And by a long time, I mean 6 years. Which is longer than a lot of you have, so don't laugh, okay? A lot of you are fucking Zoomers. A lot of you came in after Trump. Don't you fucking laugh at me. This is the thing that happens. Sometimes there will be people who will base their identities around just trying to be like really good, excellent, perfect lefties. And then, and one of the ways in which you do that is you show that you're better than other people. You're more of a lefty than other people. I could do this too. Imagine, like, you can imagine that. What if I'm in like a talk show or something? I've done like a little podcast talk show, and I'm with 4 other dudes there, and we're all just sort of like, yeah, we're all pretty cool. And issue of trans rights come up, we love trans people, and we love trans people. I love trans, we all love trans people here, don't we? Don't we, folks? We all love trans people here. And I, in an effort to sort of discursively produce a greater degree of moral purity than the other people there. I'm like, well, not only do I believe trans people should be respected, we should use their pronouns, I believe the concept of gender itself is oppressive, most so to trans people, and that it should be abolished completely in favor of a more a more diluted, more specific, individualistic system of identification that lends all respect to people and their identities, no matter how they may choose. Or something like that, How pro-trans are you? I'm on HRT right now, bitch. I'm fucking injecting. Is it still HRT if I'm taking testosterone as a cis dude? I don't know. I'm not running test cycles right now, okay? Listen, I'm all natty. Whatever. And woke scolding basically kind of fits under the same parameter. Then we have cancel culture. Everyone, hey, people love to talk about it. You seen those Netflix comedy specials? Oh boy, yes you have. By which I mean you probably haven't because you've heard their dog shit. I watched a few of them for you. Dave Chappelle had its moments. Some of it's fun. I mean, it's Dave Chappelle, so he's a funny guy. It had some pretty bad points too. A lot of the other ones, really fucking bad. Not worth your time. Incredible to me that they got a Netflix special. But then again, what's his name? Jeff Dunham? Has been popular for decades. He's the puppet guy, right? The racist puppet guy? Like, you fucking kidding me? Opening up a phone call with Dear Citizen, dear God. Anyway, Jeff Dunham with he's got like yes, this is my Chinese man puppet. Ching chong. Like, I think that's like actually his humor, right? And he has like he's got like the jihadi guy, and Allahu Akbar, infidel. I don't fucking know. I saw a special of his once, and I wanted to kill myself because the thought of sharing a planet with people who thought it was funny. I don't know. But cancel culture is a real thing. It's a real thing that exists. I want to talk to you about it, okay? And last but not least, oversensitivity. Oversensitivity. That's probably going to be the one that's going to be most difficult to talk about because it's not so much a specific negative act as it is an attitude that blankets everything we do on the left. We are sensitive here on the left. And by we I mean you. Fuck, I'm not even remotely. I'm rough like sandpaper, baby. But there are a lot of folks who are real sensitive, okay? Let's get started. Right now. Not a moment to lose. We're going to straighten ourselves up. Check that out. Kablamo. Wow. Whew, crack the knuckies. That means knuckles. That sounded like a racial slur, didn't it? Here we go. Paint stream. Let's do it. Gatekeeping. I talked about this recently, okay? I talked about gatekeeping as a concept, all right? It kind of fucking triggers me. Let's how do I say this? Let's build a spectrum, okay? We're going to build a beautiful, beautiful axis. Okay? Do you see that? So here's what we're going to do. Okay? Watch this. Over here is the left, and over here is the right. Do you see that? Left and right, okay? But up here, top, bottom, we're not going to deal with authoritarianism, libertarianism right now, okay? What we're talking about right here is being sensitive and being insensitive, okay? Now, by insensitive, I don't mean you're running around saying the N-word or anything. I just mean you don't get bothered by stuff that much, okay? Now, here's something that really fucking bothers me, okay? We're going to phrase this really fucking calmly, okay? And it's going to be super chill. Why the fuck can't you coalition build? Why are you so fucking bad at it? This is insane to me. I'm sorry, I went to college, okay? My gigantic, colossal fucking meat brain, maybe there's too much in here for you to fucking pick up on. Why are people in the left who are sensitive, here, black line, up here, why are people up here? You're fucking woke scolds on Twitter. Okay, we'll calm it down a little bit, but only a little bit. Why are the people who are up here Okay, these are the people with that fucking with the fucking everyone sees this avatar. Where's that avatar where it's the flag in the background and it's like the little person? Sometimes they hold a little flag right here. You know what I mean? And everyone has them right now. It's some variation of that shit. It's the fucking character customizer. Everyone has seen that shit. Okay, everyone has seen that shit now. I swear to fucking God, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? P Crew? Is it P Crew? Hold on. Okay. It's this fucking thing. Right here. This. If you have this type of avatar on Twitter, there is an 87.23% chance that you need to respect yourself and live a long and happy life and listen to me, okay? Because I have some wisdom to impart to you, all right? I have some fucking wisdom to impart to you right now. Listen the fuck up. I am so sick, and it is cute, yeah. I am so sick and fucking tired of gatekeeping. Holy shit. If you listen to some people online, you would believe that the left is here, that this is the left, right there, that that's it, the entirety of the left, okay? But this is not the case. Let us build out in strata. Where am I, okay? Well, I'm probably somewhere like here. I don't know if you fuckers have noticed. I get fucking told I'm a reactionary or a radlib by a lot of people, and then I look at their shit. I'm way to the fucking left of these people. I'm way to the fucking left of these people. I'm like really fucking far left compared to a lot of people. I'm also not particularly sensitive. I just, I don't fucking care. I'm good. I'm a cis fucking white dude, okay? I had really nice, respectful, loving parents when I grew up. I don't have a lot of trauma that I need to process, all right? I'm doing good. Here's fucking me. How do we draw me? I'm a V. There I am, okay? There are people on the left who will unironically argue that I'm not on the left. Listen, I'm sorry if I'm advocating for my own interest here, okay? I'm sorry if I'm making it sound like I'm doing this for my own benefit, but if you're unironically arguing that I, for the entirety of my online persona for the past 5 years has been dedicated to building socialism, I fucking started out arguing in favor of socialism with destiny at every point I could get, and now I have my own thing, and I'm doing it even more now. If you unironically believe I'm not the left, I have to wonder, what do you think the left is? Because there are greater consequences for you excluding me. You realize that, right? Do you know why I do what I do? It's not just because I love making billions of dollars every time I stream and getting hot fucking twunk ass sent to me on my Discord DMs, okay? That's not just the reason why. It's one of the reasons why, but it's not the entirety of the reason why. The real reason why is because it hurts my fucking feelings when I see people say that people like me can't be on the left, when people act as though masculine people can't be on the left, or when people act like edgy people can't be on the left, or when people act like, sometimes, anarchists can't be on the left, though that's mostly a tanky thing. This shit, actually fucking triggers me. I'm secure in my position on the left. You can't take that from me. But what about the people who could be on the left who aren't? What about the people who might be leftists or might consider themselves leftists but aren't because we're excluding them? If you take this absolute center point to be like a completely apolitical person at 15 years old, think of how much easier the right's job is than them. For one, the right will take anyone. If you're a neo-Nazi, if you believe, literally you believe that a Jewish conspiracy is trying to destroy the white man, you will go over to people who are just like, I don't really like it when Democrats threaten they're gonna take my guns. You're gonna fucking slurp this person up because Nazis and reactionaries and fascists and all of these other people are much better at coalition building than we are. And you'll notice, by the way, there's not a bunch of fucking factionary gatekeeping within the right, is there now? Do you know why there isn't? Because it is possible to have a very broad political movement with a fuck ton of different elements and social spaces and values that nonetheless move towards a collectively achievable, desirable goal. The right is much more inclusive than the left. And I say that with the greatest irony I can possibly. I toss that phrase out to you, and I mean it sincerely. The right is much more inclusive than the left. 100%. Now, you can be trans and be in the right. Do you have any idea how many 16-year-old trans Nazis I see fucking rummaging around in some of the politics discords that I'm in? It's really weird. There are spaces for that. There are spaces to be a Nazi trans girl or a Nazi femboy or a Nazi gay. Milo Yiannopoulos was a fucking miscegenating gay man, and he worked with Nazis until it became politically inefficacious to do so. They'll take anyone, and it doesn't hurt their movement. It doesn't hurt anyone there. It only benefits them because they are so asynchronistic in the way in which they pursue their goals. There are some people who are fighting for the right, who are arguing that, oh, well, if you're born here in America, you're an American, and that's all I care about. Now just fight out against them libs and dems who are trying to steal your guns. And there are people on the right who are saying, listen, if you were born here in America, as long as you don't have Negro blood, you're fine. You're with us. But if you are, you're only here because the Jew allows you to. And these people will work together. They'll work together. They form the same political caucuses. There are social spaces where these people cohabitate and interact. There's fighting, sure, but it doesn't keep them from... Fucking Candace Owens got invited to a congressional panel on white supremacy a few days ago. Candace Owens! Pro-Hitler Candace Owens. Hitler was fine until he left the borders of his country. Candace Owens. People who are saying the Nazis were leftists. You could be talking to a Nazi, or you could be talking to your average Republican. It's wild. They'll do anything. Why can't we learn from that? We don't have, guys, I'm not saying, I've said this recently in a stream, but I need to illustrate this again. I'm not saying, like, we need to go out there and find this fucking dude over here who believes that, like, blacks smell bad and, like, ghetto hoes are, like, stealing welfare. We don't need that shit. I'm not saying we need that fucking shit in our lives or whatever, but, like, here's a good start. Maybe I, who literally dedicate my persona to arguing for like leftist and progressive politics, maybe if I'm not good enough to fit in your lefty clubhouse, you might have a fucking problem. What about this? And I said this before, but I gotta say it again. If you're sensitive, and there are a lot of sensitive people, okay? There are a lot of sensitive people on the left. A lot of sensitive people on the left, all right? And we'll talk about that. But if you're sensitive, and you're up here, if you're like if you're like trans or whatever, and I'm not speaking disparagingly when I call you trans. Trans people have every right to be more sensitive on average than cis people, and they generally are. You have a lot more to deal with, okay? But it is nonetheless something that happens. Yeah, like, let's be real. Let's not deny facts. Let's not deny reality here. Trans people tend to be pretty sensitive online, at least more so than the fucking alternative, all right? Being cis. If you're up here and you want, okay, to win, if you want to win, then here's what you need to do. And by you, I mean the left. If you want the left to win so you don't fucking die, here's what you need to do. Keep this little space for yourself. This can be your own little Twitter and Discord groups, okay? And these will all be very progressive, everyone can ask each other's pronouns when they come in. And I'm not disparaging this. This is something you're free to do. Godspeed. Everyone can ask each other's pronouns. Everyone can be really, really nice to one another. And you can, like, if someone in there calls someone else an idiot, you can be like, hey, I don't really like the use of that word. It has ties to ableism. Or, well, I guess it just is ableism. It's not even really ties to ableism. Okay. Do this, but then you need to go collectively as a group. This is not enough to beat out this. Hey, here's a message. If this is where your left begins and ends, if you're one of these like little sensitive people who just has your own community and you don't really like other people because they're like a little problematic, you're all going to die. We're legit within a few decades of social cataclysms that may mean the death of all of us, whether by climate change, nuclear war, fucking military proliferation, or fascism rising within our countries. And you're going to die first. I get to live longer than you. I'm strong. I'm bigger than you. I'm white. I'm a man. I'm cis. I'm well off. I will outlive you. Do you really want that? Do you want my smug, jeering fucking smile to be presiding over your grave as I'm sent to go dig up the hole for the next fucking group of trans cuties to be fucking thrown into? Absolutely fucking not. I want to live with you. All right? I want to survive with you. You will die on your own. So here's what you need to do. You need to say, hey, hello. Maybe this can be our social space. Maybe we can include more people. Wow. Maybe we can say, hey, maybe this dude over here, maybe this fucker over here is pretty woke or whatever, but they don't believe in the revolution. They believe we can reform our way, okay? Look, they're more sensitive, but they're not as far left. Cool, whatever. I would rather have a reformist feel as though they can be included in our system than one who feels as though they cannot. What about down here? What if we skate it out a little further? What about this person? This person loves saying faggot. Hey, chat, say it with me. Do you know why you should? Really quick. Hey, in chat, I want to see a wave of faggot. You know why? We're destigmatizing it right here in this community specifically. This is a far left community. I'll say it with you. Faggot. You're probably gay too, right? I'm gay. I can say it. That's right. This one time. You get this one fucking time. One fucking time. I'm gay. You're probably gay. Statistically speaking, if you follow me, you're probably some kind of queer, right? You get this one. All right, stop. 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 That's it. We're done. We're done. We did it. That was the one time. You get it that one time. And hey, a lot of you who just said that, a lot of you are still leftists. It didn't get blown out of you. Do you see? We're still left here. What if this person down here loves saying fag or whatever? They don't like target gay people and say it. They just say it. Or like this person says like retarded or whatever. I would rather have these people exist within the left than exist elsewhere. Because you know what happens to any space that we don't spread ourselves to? Do you know what happens to every space we don't exert our political will in? You know what happens, don't you? Somebody else fills it up for you. Every single time. When you make the decision to look at a person or a group of people and say, I don't know if I want them here. I don't know if they're right for us. You are leaving them to the right. Now, you don't have to go over here. You don't have to I'm not saying go recruit fucking Nazis or whatever, okay? But you have to realize, and this is how it works. This is how coalition building works. You know who understood this? Malcolm X understood this. Martin Luther King Jr. understood this. You need to go read about what they did when they were coalition building, particularly in black neighborhoods or in poor neighborhoods that were Latin. They would work together with people who were very different, sometimes who were even like centrist or right-leaning, as long as they had a shared interest. Dr. Martin Luther King realized, the Black Panthers realized, they were black. Many of these more like conservative gangs in certain areas in the southern U.S. were Latin. They weren't socialists there, but they were both victims of white supremacy, and they worked together, and their work beget results. I hear this all the time from people who defend gatekeeping. They'll say oh yeah, so we should let a few shitty white boys in at the expense of everyone else. No, whose expense? The white boys are going to exist whether or not you invite them into the left. I see people do this. They're like this is how they envision it. Oh, this person says fag. And if we invite them into the left, then all of the millions of marginalized fucking minority community people that are already in the left are going to be blown out by the fag word. And they're all going to fucking die because it'll be infected. You'll infect the left. This is not how it works. It's not how anything works. Why do you not read? I can't believe I'm telling other people to read. This is the basic coalition. This is high school level, okay? This person over here is going to be doing their shit one way or another. Would you rather have them included in the left, right over here, or bring them in, include them into the left, so they interact with people who are further left than them, so they interact with people who might encourage them to move closer to the left? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but generally speaking, when you include people in a social space, they radicalize further into the more extreme elements of that social space. That's how that works in the right and the left. The right and the left. And you make this person feel included into the left, they're now going to have an access to social spaces and resources, which will maybe say hey, maybe you shouldn't be saying fag all the time, you know? And they'll probably move further to the left. They're not going to pull the entire fucking left right with them. That has never fucking happened. The right knows this. Because if the right gets a hold of this person, if the right feels as though they can move in on these communities to consume them, this person is going to start moving further fucking right. Oh, well, of course I can say fag. I'm still a leftist. And then you get to over here. Well, I don't really know about like socialism or Bernie Sanders or whatever, but like fag doesn't hurt anyone. And then you go over here and you start reading fucking poll degeneracy threads and how fucking gay people are more likely to rape children or whatever. And then you go further and further and further. This is how political radicalization works. This is how politics works. If you don't feel and you don't like that, you don't deserve to be a part of like the actual fucking like praxis space for the left. You don't deserve it because you're hurting us. And it's mostly these people. These people set the tone. They're basically like the far left version of the center, like civility police. The people like the political pundits who exist here in the center. So if a black person goes on TV and goes like, man, fuck white people, fuck that system, fuck that shit. I'm not dealing with that. You people fuck us over all the time. This person, we can say they're over here, is going to get fucking excluded from daytime television airings because they don't fall within this like broad circle of acceptable like civil politics. This is something that libs do. And this is kind of like that. These people set a barrier around them of acceptable discourse, and people outside of it aren't just not with them, they're not even allowed to share the same social space. And it's really fucking frustrating. I just want you guys to fucking live. I'm just, like, I'm really, really fucking sorry, but in an era where, like, Putin is, like, legitimately destabilizing Western democracies across Europe and in several other places around the world, in an era where we have basically a Nazi sympathizer as a president, in an era where climate change is going to force revolutions on us within the next few decades, I really do not want my ability to coalition build to be limited by the social inclination of people who operate in like the extreme, completely impractical, far fucking end of like civil leftist discourse. Here's the real answer. We, the left, need to find ways to reach everybody we can. Everyone. We need to take these spaces back from them. We let the right have everything. We let the right have YouTube. We let the right have every single fucking avenue by which young people are introduced to political radicalization. We gave it to them. Can you imagine if people were trying to make lefty YouTube channels and people who are up here were like, well, no, why would we want YouTubers to follow our cause? Real leftists are only on Tumblr and Twitter and such. YouTube is full of fash reactionaries. Why would we try to reach that audience? Why do you want to degrade what the left is? That is literally what you're doing. It is every bit as insane, every bit as myopic, every bit as counterproductive, and every bit as self-destructive, as cannibalistic, as saying that you aren't interested in going out into the streets to, like, protest for unionization or to hand out pamphlets for your local leftist organization because there's a decent chance the people you meet out there are going to have weird views on trans people. It's so myopic, it makes me want to die. We need to take spaces back from people. We need to take spaces back from the right. We need to encroach further and further outward. We need to broaden the range of acceptable discourse for what it means to be a leftist. This is what I do. This is what I want to do. Maybe you dislike me. I'm pretty far left. I want to show people that I'm a way to be left. You can be masculine and edgy and still be leftist. Am I perfect? No, of course. I never argued that I'm perfect, but I'm definitely leftist. And I meaningfully fight against all of the things you're fighting against. And very often I do it better than you ever could. And the reason for that is because I understand coalition building better than you. You, of course, being the imagined, like, woke scolder. I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to. Look at this. If I'm over here, I want to radiate outwards, reach broader and broader audiences, convince larger and larger groups of people that it is possible to be like them, but also to be a leftist. Hey, maybe they've got some flaws. Maybe they say slurs from time to time. Maybe they have weird views about certain social minorities. Those are bad things, absolutely. But they're not going to have their minds changed by being left out into the dirt so some fucking Nazi can come and radicalize them. They're going to have their minds changed by meeting people who are willing to talk with them, to chat with them. And that's a good thing. We should want that. Because I don't want to die. I don't want to die in a hole. I don't want to. I want the left to win. And in order for us to win, we have to coalition build. We have to not gatekeep. This is a legitimate... I'm not gonna, like, two chains you here. This is a legitimate issue the left has a serious problem with. Right now, there are literally millions of people who might have been leftists who weren't able to become leftists because their first experience with left culture online was incredibly exclusionary. So they turned towards a culture that asked nothing of them. Reactionary culture. You don't have to change or do anything to be accepted into those circles. But if they had maybe just been given a little bit more charitability, a little bit more time to grow and improve, a little bit more space to occupy, maybe that could have turned out differently. Maybe it could have been that the majority of fucking young white people's introduction to political, like, radicalization wasn't Ben Shapiro owns SJW compilation number 27 videos. Maybe that didn't have to be how most people get into politics. But if your only experience with the left have been people who've kind of lived up to the right's caricature of SJWs, and the right asks literally nothing of you except that you meme hard in their communities, you're gonna get bad outcomes. And you might think, and I heard this once before, when I last talked about this, somebody said, well, why do we even need those shitty white boys? Because I was a shitty white boy. Because a lot of people in my chat were shitty white boys. Because a lot of people on Earth are shitty white boys. And being a shitty white boy is the first step towards being a not shitty white boy. And then, through the encroachment of time, a non-shitty white man. Those people are going to exist whether you accept them into your spaces or not. But if they're in your spaces, you have the opportunity to control what they think, at least to some extent, to show them a better way of being a person. If you don't, you can't. It's really that simple. This isn't a problem you can just close your eyes and turn away your head from. It's not going to fix anything. Every single day, hundreds of thousands of people who might otherwise be leftists are set down paths that will lead them further towards reactionary values. Some of them are going to end up thinking trans people are degenerates. Some of them are going to end up believing America should be a white ethno-state. Some of them are going to end up believing that Jews control the media and the big businesses and the politicians. We can fix those things, but it's going to require we get our hands a little bit dirty. If you don't want to do that work, if you want to stay in your own, like, more sensitive, safety space kind of thing, that's fine. You have every right to do so. But don't get in my way when I'm trying to do the work you can't do. And don't get in the way of other people like me when they're trying to do the same. That's all I ask. Blah. Yeah. You try talking for that long uninterrupted while having a fucking head cold. That's part one. I'm going to go over donations, then I'm going to do part two. I'm going to do these very quickly. I'm sorry, I probably am not going to be answering questions that come in. I love you. Hasselboy with the $10. Keep up the good work. Thank you, comrade. I will. Balthazar with the $2. Mr. X gonna give it... Oh, these are from yesterday. I thought I recognized that. Hold on. Silly. I thought I cleared all these out before stream. All right. Jack Attack LP with the $1. Thank you, comrade. DPSD with the tier 2 sub. First, let me get me off this chance. Trans rights. Thanks for showing me the problems with Yang's means of implementing UBI and showing me the burn. Love you. Let's get a fat Peppo hug combo in chat to show Vosh some love. Stay strong, comrades. Stay strong. Liafy94 with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. Comrade Courtney with the tier 1 sub. Love your streams, Vosh. This is the first been able to catch in a while. And when is next Breadcraft stream, brother? Yeah, I really should do more Breadcraft. And there's also a real life friend that I want to have brought into it. That would make me very happy, I think. F Talisman with the unbelievably generous $56. Holy shit, comrade. That is unbelievably kind of you. I really can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the kindness. Never thought I'd find anyone close to my political views. Love from Socialist Finland. Hey, love to you from meritocratic America, buddy. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. That's very kind of you. We got 3 more to do. Noosh with the tier 1 sub. Ooh, oh, that's from Comrade Courtney. Thank you, Comrade Courtney, for the donated sub. Anon with the $10. How can Vosh not be left when the only thing he loves more than watching a dude blast his GFS is blasting that dude's ass instead? It's true. The best part of threesomes are me getting to cuck everyone involved. 100%. Thank you. Comrade Courtney, thank you for gifting Anarcho TV a sub as well. That's very kind of you. Daniel Sullivan with the $10. Your Pathologic 2 stream convinced me to give Ice Pick Lodge money as long as their Windows build works in Linux. Otherwise, I'm going to wait until they get their act together on their Linux or PS4 ports. Ah, I see. They don't have it out for those. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even begin to guess at the processes that are involved with porting to Linux. I have no idea. I've never used Linux. Whatever the case may be, it's a wonderful game, and they're a wonderful company, and they've been doing good work for over a decade. And I'm glad you gave them your money. And I'm glad you gave me your money. Thank you. NPC Porky with the $1. Are you still interested to debate the Nazi alternative hypothesis? No, he never wanted to debate. He's a coward and can't accept debate. He complains about it. But I will be doing a response stream to him. The research is almost completely done. It's just a matter of when I feel like doing it, which will be one hell of a stream. Arist McProll with the tier 1 sub. Ooh, oh, by Comrade Courtney. Ooh, I'm big gay. It's true, you are big gay. Disgusting, but not actually. Hammer Time with the $1. I've never understood these people. Is it not the eventual dream that all humans are comrades? It's the conflation of a political space with a social space. Some people are more interested in making left a broad political movement. Some people are more interested in making the left a more specific social space that caters to their personal preferences. I find the latter tendency to be extremely toxic when applied to the former. Alan Hannigan with the $5. Lest we forget they're doing the same on the right, this isn't a debate. If there are less of you, you will lose. And if the Nazis win, we literally die. Yeah, those are about the stakes. Comrade Courtney again with the donated sub. Thank you to Duckless. Thank you, Comrade Courtney. You are fucking it up, comrade. Apex centrist Vox, old man Vox with the $2. Thank you. The left needs more people like you. Yes, the world needs more people with name titles like you as well. Nicholas Pogson with the $5. Build leftist unity. It's not like the fascists won't kill all of us. It's infuriating. The fascists are getting stronger and we destroy ourselves. Yeah. The real sad part is that there are a lot of people who just aren't going to listen to what I have to say because they have preconceived ideas of me. Zeloff with the $5. Pee-pee poo-poo hypers. True. Alan Flores with the $1. Thank you. And Dad has been gifted another tier 1 sub by Comrade Courtney. You're fucking it up over there, Courtney. Thank you. Valiant 12 with the $5. I was changed by the election of Trump when all the big anti-SJW came out in favor of him, and it realized they weren't quite as sensible as I first believed. Yep, turns out that anti-SJW YouTube politics were just a facsimile for the real end goal, which was just being a reactionary. Why no true emote? I don't know what I would make it, honestly, except for like a picture of like fucking, who is it, like XQC? I don't know. We're not done, folks. We begin again. Hey folks, I just did one video, and that was on gatekeeping. And by just did a video, I mean I just recorded it. I didn't do any of the editing. And by editing, I mean I literally just clipped the segment out with no editing, because I don't do editing. If there's editing that needs to be done, my editor does it. But there's something else I wanted to talk to you about. This is part 2 in a 4-part series on the problems I have with the left. This is no Dave Rubin skit. This is no Tim Pool skit. I'm not critiquing the left from the left, you know. Everything that I do and everything that I say is built on the idea that I want to maximize the possibility of us winning, broadly, the culture war and us achieving a society which maximizes the happiness and well-being for everyone, including the marginalized communities that we currently protect within our sort of political spaces. Water is important. Delicious. It is important to stay hydrated, as a leftist, as a revolutionary, or otherwise. The second problem that I have with the left is purity testing and woke scolding. Now, all of the problems with the left sort of overlap with one another, so some things I might say in one video may be sort of touched upon in another. They're all very broad. None of these are like specific events, people, or places, or time periods that I can really point to. It's more of a broader cultural predilection that sort of comes up time and time again. Now, I may actually be the world expert on dealing with woke scolding. I would invite any of you, and I'm being sincere right now, please, I would invite any of you to think of a bread tuber or leftist YouTuber who has experienced more condemnation from the left than me, currently. Is there a more contentious left tuber? Is there one who has incurred more ire or more woke scolding? I really genuinely, sincerely believe there is not. Now, ContraPoints, maybe, but if we boil it down to per capita, my size relative to Contra's, I bet I would edge her out by quite a bit, because her shit is like 30 times the size of mine, and I'm pretty sure I get more than 1/30th of the woke scolding that she gets. But fair, flat numbers, ContraPoints. Let's pretend that I deal with it the most, okay? But we don't even need to. Second most. I get a lot of woke scolding. I really do. What does woke scolding mean? Woke scolding, in my mind, means when you chastise somebody for not being woke enough. What does woke mean? Woke usually means progressive, right? Well, what does progressive mean? Progressive, generally, means that you are in favor of a broader political or theory-based sort of an ideology that that seeks to like build equality to liberate marginalized communities. So that's being progressive. So a progressive person would be pro-racial equality, or pro calling trans people by their pronouns, you know, equal treatment, happiness, supporting the, you know, minorities, the marginalized communities. Now, being woke and being progressive don't necessarily exactly mean the same things. Woke has kind of a negative connotation, you know, mostly because of people like No Bullshit or Tim Pool or whatever the term, you know, go woke, go broke. If you make a Hollywood movie woke, it goes broke, completely unsubstantiated, but they love to say it anyway. Woke kind of has like a negative sort of association. And the reason for that, I imagine, is because when people say woke, they don't just mean progressive. They mean progressive in an irritating, adjective, sort of obnoxious way. And that criticism can come from two perspectives. When somebody like No Bullshit, a truly subhuman simpleton, says, oh, something, wait, let me try and get myself in the no bullshit zone. Star Wars last I went woke and it went broke, even though it made like $8 billion box office. When you go woke, that woman there, she's black. All right, I think I did it. That's basically a no bullshit video. When No Bullshit makes a video about something being woke, it's like, it's bad. It's like, oh, look, they're forcing all this forced diversity. And No Bullshit is himself, of course, a Nazi, so everything that he says should be salted and poured into the garbage. But when I criticize something for being woke, well, I never do it. I never criticize something for being woke. I criticize like woke scolds. I've used this terms a lot. The woke scold I envision in my head is somebody who is more interested in demonstrating that they are morally superior to others than they are in than they are in actually meaningfully advancing progressive politics. So let me give you an example. So a few days ago, I tweeted something here. I can actually find the tweet. Hold on. It was a funny tweet. I think it was nice. I had fun typing it. I was in a Petco when I typed it. I just remember that specifically for some reason. No. Here we go. All right. So here is my beautiful tweet, okay? No. Wait, really? Why does it... Here we go. Also, look, pictures of my kitty. Look at my little kitty. But here's the tweet. Nobody says anything. Daytime news. Young black girl's life unfortunately concluded after fatal collision with bullet discharged from weapon in officer's possession during no-knock raid on address dissimilar to address printed on warrant. So the joke here being, of course, that daytime television news anchors will often downplay police brutality, because the actual, like, English of what this would say would be the cops broke into the wrong house and then shot a child. Unprompted, you know? So that's the meme there, okay? So right, pretty standard tweet. You've seen the joke before, right? You've seen that joke. We've made fun of the newscaster talk in regards to police brutality. Somebody responded to that. It was this black guy on Twitter, and they said something like, Vosh, considering your takes on things, would appreciate it if you didn't talk about black issues in the future. Other black Twitter users have made this joke before and better. Maybe keep your hands off it. Now, here's the thing. Leaving aside the implication that I have bad takes on race politics, which no one's ever accused me of before, by the way. It's impressive. Nobody has ever... You'd say that to me too, Vosh? Well, would you say it ironically, K-Dash Prime? Because that's a real fucking dumb thing to say. So leaving aside the fact... No one ever has, like, accused me of having bad takes on race before. It's funny, actually. I'm surprised. But, not from the left, I mean. I checked that guy out. He's a Republican. Well, what are you going to do? Okay, it would be ironic, K-Dash Prime. Well, this person was quite sincere. So this, to me, like, let's break this down. So the argument this person is making is that they don't want me to make jokes that exist to make fun of the racist establishment because it's a black issue. Why? I don't know. I'm not trying to make it about this person. Maybe they have good takes on other days. Maybe they were just having a bad day. But this, to me, this is indicative to me of something. When that person typed that out, was their goal really, I am going to try to affect change in a way that will work to combat racism? Probably not. I mean, I'm kind of a public figure, albeit a small one. If I'm pointing out and making fun of racism, that's probably a good thing, right? So I don't think anyone could reasonably argue the outcomes of that action would make the world a more progressive or less racist place. But you could make the argument that that person was just, they didn't like me, and they chose to phrase their dislike of me through this performative wokeness, this, keep your hands off black issues, whitey take, in a way that doesn't really help anyone. In fact, it would hurt people, I imagine, if I stopped dealing with race politics in my videos, because that would mean I wouldn't be fighting racism anymore. Should I stop with the alt-height stream? I don't know. But it would mean bad, essentially. But it is a way to phrase dislike of me in a way that is a lot more difficult to challenge than if he had just responded and said, you're a fucking idiot, fuck you, you piece of shit, tiny brain, small boy. Right? This is kind of the feeling that I get from woke scolding as a concept. I feel like, see, I'm a consequentialist, and I believe that the morality of an action is determined by the consequences of that action. You know, rule consequential, like blah blah, rule utilitarian. This is fucking ethics stream. We're not getting into that, but generally speaking, I think that something is good if it does good, and if it's bad if it does bad. You know? So if we're in a situation where I'm in a position to potentially affect change in a positive manner, and somebody else doesn't want to see that, and they don't want to see that for ways that only really line up if you assume that they're trying to act out a dislike of me, like through sort of woke or pseudo woke language, then what do you get? Like, what are you working with there? I think what you're working with there is woke scolding. It's time for me to stop beating around the bush. In leftist spaces, there is a horrid tendency, a very common tendency, for people to base their identities around the extent to which they can demonstrate a greater level of wokeness than the people around them. I'm going to share a story with you that I've shared on stream before, okay? And it's very embarrassing, so for me. So I would, so no laughing, okay? I've been on the left for a while. A while back, like 2012, 2013, I was a member of a community on Reddit called Shit Reddit Says. They were a largely like leftist feminist community, though there were a lot of libs there too, and they would make fun of problematic things that were said elsewhere on Reddit. And it was this was a very silly circle jerky space where they would talk about how all men and how all whites are trash, and I think that largely time has made their brand of lefty politics irrelevant, which is probably for the best because they were never very popular. They were a boogeyman of Reddit. People would always be like, oh, why did this racist subreddit get banned? Oh, it was the SRSers. And it was great fun, but not very effective in regards to rhetoric. Whatever the case may be, they had an IRC channel, and I was somewhat known around that place because I had argued with Destiny before, defending SRS, and I called myself Irish Laddie back then. I didn't do a great job defending SRS because at the time I was young. I was like 19 or 18. I just didn't do that great of a job. You know, we get better. We all get better, hopefully. I was in that IRC community as Irish Laddie, and I was generally ignored. Nobody really liked me. Nobody wanted to talk to me. So I had to find a way to gain social capital. I'm not like trying to like armchair psychologist analyze my previous behavior. This is literally what I was thinking. I need to find a way to get social capital. How do I do that? So I chilled in the stream chat or the IRC chat, and somebody in the chat talking about trans people, and they use the term trans woman. Now, for those of you who don't know, for a period of time, the politics around like language uses change all the time. For a while, when you said trans online, you had to say trans asterisk. Does anyone remember that? Can you hypers in chat if you remember that? Because it meant trans inclusive. But then a few years later, the asterisk got dropped at the end. Yeah, some of you, yes, for those of you who are question marking in chat, I'm not making it up. All over the internet in progressive spaces, that was what you did for a while. You would do trans asterisk, and it meant trans, like inclusive. You know? This stuff happens. Well, at the time, yeah, if you're question marking, then you just don't know. Like, this is a thing that happened. Anyway, at the time, and possibly still today, but more so then, it was a faux pas to write out trans woman like this. You never, ever, ever did it like this, because trans no space woman is a noun. Trans space woman is an adjective describing a noun. Since trans women are women, you don't want trans woman to be its own fucking word. You want it to be trans adjective woman. Make sense? So in the IRC chat, someone kept typing trans no space woman, And I was like, yes, here's my chance. And I corrected them. I was like, hey, I don't know if you know, but you're supposed to do trans space woman because da-da. And nobody responded to me. Nobody cared. There were like a dozen people chatting. I was completely ignored. So a few minutes pass, and they do it again. And I do it again. Hey, I don't know if you saw the earlier one. Nobody responded. Yeah, where's the soy emote at when you need it, huh? This was like fucking 6 years ago, so I can talk about this now without wanting to kill myself. And then the third time, I did it a third time. And someone was like, dude, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just trying to correct. And they were like, dude, she's trans. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, God. I was a failed woke skull. I was a ineffective woke skull, to say the least. And then I stopped doing that. I never did it again after that. In that one little lesson, I realized that that process, gaining social capital by like proving how woke you are, it's a horrible, myopic, toxic, cannibalistic process. And it just doesn't work out. And the funny thing is, I was taught that by, at the time, one of the most woke scoldy communities I have ever seen in my life, because SRS was insanely woke scolding. And they still are, but not to me. Or they weren't able to take it from me because I was like a well-known disliked white cis dude. Oh man. Oh, Mako56, you couldn't do that. I actually eventually got booted off that IRC channel because I said that I enjoyed A Christmas Story. You know, that old movie from like from 1,000 years ago that's like pretty racist and sexist if you look at it today. There's like the leg lamp, you know, A Christmas Story. A BB gun, shoot your eye out, Santa Claus. We've all seen this, right? If you're a boomer. Anyway, I remember one time I said that I liked that movie in the IRC channel while people were discussing problematic movies they liked, and people started shit talking me major. Like, how can you like that movie? That movie is racist. That movie's sexist. And I'm like, what the fuck? We're all talking about movies. We're all talking about movies that are problematic that we like anyway. And they were like, I don't know why you would engage in apologetics for that movie. And I said, and I quoted Anita Sarkeesian, and I said, it is sometimes both beneficial and necessary to simultaneously enjoy a piece of media and critique it for its more pernicious aspects. And they said, "Don't you fucking mansplain me." I'm not joking. They actually said that verbatim. And I responded with saying that's literally an Anita Sarkeesian quote. And they said, "I don't care," and then I got banned. So I got counter woke scolded on that one. Just not a great community, honestly. My community's better. I made a better community right here. Whatever the case may be, let's talk beyond just the horrible optics of woke scolding and purity testing, okay? Let's talk about its practical consequences. Leftist spaces are only as strong as the bonds between their members are. That's just how spaces work. People, we need to feel comfortable with one another. We need to feel strong, tight-knit, a close mesh fabric, so that we can share news, we can rely on each other for support. If one of us needs money, we can maybe disseminate some of it. That's a good thing. Strength in social spaces is very powerful. This is something that we have that the right does not have. In right-leaning, like reactionary, like Twitter or 4chan, you can't go there and like talk about like how shit your day has been and like ask for support or monetary. You'll get called the N-word and banned, or probably not banned because they don't really get that ban happy over there. But they don't have that. They do have it in a broader sense. If a right-leaning figure needs money, then their Kickstarters tend to go fucking meet their goals within 3 hours. But that's more because of the size of the right and the fact that there's more money behind the right. But in regards to the strength of social spaces, I think that's something that we actually have better than them. But this gets in the way of it. See, social spaces should be based on shared need, shared identity, and they should be sort of they should be integrated through a collective desire to build social bonds. When we get stronger, that strength should be made collaboratively, not competitively. But woke scolding does the opposite of that. Woke scolding and purity testing are processes by which, within your own space, within your own community, you don't really woke scold a Nazi when you tell them to stop being a Nazi. That's not really woke scolding. But you can woke scold me when you tell me that actually I should stop speaking about trans issues because of that. You can woke scold me. Not really a Nazi. This is an inter-community thing. It only really works on leftists, kind of like cancel culture, which we'll get to in a second. And it's competitive. And I don't think it should be competitive in that respect. It's competitive by nature. You compete with others. Who's the wokest? Who has the greatest degree of sort of performative leftist, what have you. We've all seen this, right? Really quickly, wait, everyone, hold your hypers. I want to see a good combo. Have you ever, hold your hypers, have you ever been in a leftist social space and see lefties treat each other really shittily, because they're trying to like prove to one another how like woke and lefty they are, and like how demonstrably like better they are than one another, and it just ends up to sort of like the bonds breaking. It doesn't work, even though they're really similar to each other ideologically. Now, hypers, if you've seen that. Yeah, that's the biggest combo we've ever had in the fucking stream. Nicely done, team. Now, guys, you didn't lie, right? Just to get the hypers combo, you didn't lie, right? We were all telling the truth, because I see it all the time. I see people who could be friends, people who could get along, people who could build shared social threads, people who could collaborate, who could work together to build praxis, do this kind of shit to one another. And hey, by the way, there's a whole other tier of this that happens with content creators. I'm one of those people. I never woke scold other people. If I have problems with the behavior of somebody else in my kind of collective lefty social space, I never like scold. I don't try and like shame people for it. Usually all I'll do is express like, hey, I disagree. Do you want to talk about it? Unless they do something like unfathomably shitty, but I don't think I've ever had to respond to that. Like if fucking Peter Coffin went on Twitter one day and they were like, N-word. 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 Like, something obviously, yeah, but But for the most part, I try to handle disagreements in a way that sort of facilitates bond building. I don't ever get treated with that same respect, unfortunately. Pardon me for complaining, but I'm a leftist. I do good work. I try to, at least, and a lot of people, a lot of content creators. I don't really need to name them, because if you know about, the respective drama, then you know. Don't share my philosophy on this issue, and are more interested in sort of scolding me for being not as good of a leftist. And it's possible I'm not as good of a leftist as some of these people. I don't think so. But I could always be wrong. But that's not really the point. If I were one of these people, I can give a clean example. Angie Speaks recently called me like a reactionary or something. I've never watched a single video of hers. I have no idea. I'm sure they're lovely. But if I was Angie Speaks and I thought like, oh, I've heard all this, and this about Vosh, what would I be more likely to do? Would I scold or insult Vosh for his tendencies? I wouldn't do that, but I'm me, of course. What I would instead want to do is try to understand their perspective, or failing that, at least discuss it with them so I can express my disagreement directly and in a fair environment. But I didn't get that treatment, and I tend not to. And I'm not trying to be like ass pained about it or butthurt or what have you, because I got a kick in the rump from the social space or anything. I just think the left would be stronger without that petty infighting. You'll notice that in spite of all the petty infighting that I am involved in, I very rarely initiate it. In fact, I don't think I've ever initiated it, because I don't want to, because I'm not interested, because I like you people, because I want the left to win. And for the left to win, it would be really nice if we had collaborative, interests and work together. It's really difficult to do that when I feel as though there is social capital to be had and bred to by canceling me. And there is. It's one of the reasons why I almost never talk to content creators anymore. I've got open Twitter DMs that I've just left rotting there, Discord messages. I'm afraid of talking to a lot of larger leftist content creators because any one of them could at any point decide there's more social capital to be had and condemning me for something or another than there is for actually engaging with me. I know that in terms of like, if there was like a opposition going on, I know that I probably would choose not me, considering it's just me as opposed to other people. I just don't think it's productive. And I would like to see us do better. That would be really, really nice. Both for content creators and for non-content creators. Just for people who are building honest, earnest leftist social spaces that seem to keep fucking self-destructing because people are so interested in proving how much they deserve to be there. Yeah, do better. Do better. Ugh. Delightful to hear that, hating on Gloria Farah. Sorry about the odd stream pacing, folks. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I'm going to read donos, and then I'm going to get right back to it, okay? Caspian with the $1. Dear liberals, if the left is so good, then why do you want trans rights? Because trans people, I don't know, they're fucking neat. Comrade Courtney with the tier 1 sub gifted to Bear Hospice. I'm gigantic gay. It's true. I imagine. Caspian with the $1. Water is the best praxis. Yeah, I feel a need for it as well. Maybe it's Mia with the $10. Thank you. Just got paid doing some freelance work for a massive multinational corporation that would be making the world a worse place if they weren't so incompetent. Hey, nice! I love it. I love it when the incompetence of our bourgeois masters gets in the way of them destroying the world. Wonderful. Nicely done. Zeloff with the tier 1 sub. Finally decided to sub, partly because you're a sweet boy who deserves it, and partly because I want that sweet dicks emote. Have fun, comrade. And thank you. Caspian with the $1. You were the one who truly radicalized me to the left. Always thought of myself as a socialist, and sadly I went through a weird tanky phase, but you made me go full left pole. Greatly appreciate, comrade. Keep doing what you're doing. Hell yeah, comrade. By left pole, do you mean left pole like the 4chan, or fucking left pole like lefty id pole? I don't fucking know. Gonzoliet Deviation with the $5. Please listen to Assyrian History and Struggle, Indigeneity, Colonialism in Rojava on Rev Left Radio. The Kurdish Nationalist Project is displacing and replacing Assyrians, and it's pretty fucked. Gonza Loit de... I actually cannot pronounce that right now. Gonzo Loit Deviation. I actually, believe it or not, have listened to that particular episode of Rev Left Radio. I am aware of the fact that Kurdish nationalism is panning out poorly for some of the Assyrians in the area. However, and I know this sounds cop-outy, I know this sounds cop-outy, but I still think that they're better than any alternative. Like basically every nationalist project that has ever emerged has displaced indigenous people in the areas that it comes to. However, I feel like by analyzing the material conditions, I feel like Rojava has... I agree it's a big problem. I'm not downplaying it. But I feel like it's better than what would be happening elsewise. It's better than the alternative. And Turkey was probably going to take a lot of that territory anyway. I don't know. Maybe they're saddling up for like defending themselves against counter-revolutionary activity, which is like always the tanky line. I don't know. It's really complicated. You know how it be. But no. I'm not meaning to say that you're accusing me of saying that like Rojava is bad or anything. It's just a process. Sorry. A little out of it today. The Shadow Bee with the $2 Canadian, you tiny brain small boy. Yeah, I was gonna say that he said that I was like a tiny dick white boy, but then I realized that might be a little bit too spicy. Comrade Sophia, it's Rojava. I don't fucking know. I think I was playing Borderlands while listening to it. Scorix with the 10 unknown currency. Lost a friend recently to how welcoming the right is. Really think if he'd seen your content before falling for Sargon, he'd be on the left now. Please keep up the good work. It really is needed. Thank you, Scorix. Much appreciated. There's nothing... I love the money, don't get me wrong. I mean, I need to pay rent and all, but nothing gives me more doki dokis in my Kokoro than when people tell me that like I've helped them de-radicalize or radicalize in the proper direction or what have you. You know? Title Punk Roller Girl with the $5. Dude, there's a kid in my class that looks like a chubby John Doyle, and he has Vote Republican 2016 and Better Dead Than Red stickers on his binder. I want to lure him into debating you. Title Punk Roller Girl, listen, I might do it. Sarah Charles with the 10 unknown currency, UK-based leftist neuroscientist. Okay, so probably 10 pounds. Your rhetorical technique is fantastic. It has helped me and my partner better frame our speech around left-wing politics. Hell yeah! Hey, Sarah Charles, listen, buddy, I love you. Wait for the Rhetoric 101 stream. This is... Okay, you know how cringy tankies are always talking about how it's not an economic theory, it's dialectical science. I unironically do this, but only for rhetoric. I think that I have studied rhetoric so much, so hard over the past half decade. I feel like with a little bit more time, I might actually ascend, you know? I might actually become like a rhetoric Buddha or something. You know what I mean? Oh God, rhetoric is literally the only thing in my life where I get like big-headed about, where I get like airheaded, you know? I need like an 8-head fucking emote for this. It can only come out when I talk about rhetoric, and it's just like my face drawn on the underside of an enormous fucking hot air balloon because oh God, oh, I fucking love rhetoric. I can't wait for the Rhetoric 101 stream. Okay, let's focus. Comrade Courtney, thanks for donating Noam Chomsky. You shouldn't have you don't give a fucking sub to Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is banned 80% of the time. Noam Chomsky deserves more love. Yeah? You sure? Cockpit Lover with the $5. Friend told me consequentialism sucks. If the majority of people are negatively affected by the existence of trans people, it's cool because it's the best consequence for the most amount of people. Yes. Yes, If the existence of transgender people, even in an idealized system, was to the detriment of others, and even in the sense like the rule utilitarian, like the broader consequences for it discriminating against a minority, then yeah, absolutely, I would throw them under the bus too. But I never will, because in every instance ever, defending minority communities has been the bedrock of stable, sane, healthy societies that maximize happiness for everyone. So it would be like, would you support killing all black people if all black people carried in them like an immunovirus that could infect the whole world and like end the human race? Like, okay, like, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't fucking know, but like, I don't think that's the case. But yeah, okay. But I can defend it, you know, from a consequentialist perspective. I hate that take. Wait, we can't engage in fucking ethnic genocide even if they're gonna end the world? All right, whatever. Never mind. Don't worry about it, okay? Vosh says he wants to support all minorities, blah, blah, but presumably that doesn't extend to pedos. Well, yeah, no, I want to support pedophiles. Yeah, I want to support them getting the care that they need and the treatment to keep them from abusing, like, IRL fucking kids. Yeah, 100%. Because if you just leave pedophiles, like, unacknowledged by society, that usually means that they have more room to do, like, bad shit. And because they feel like they're going to be ostracized if they come forward and look for help, they probably never get help. Well, it would be more of the illness genocide, little shortcake. Okay, anyway. A 180-pound raccoon with the $5. Hey, Vosh, just want to say thanks for what you do. Learn a ton from watching your streams. Keep it up, bud. P.S. Can furries take part in the revolution? Yes! Furries make good fucking porn. If Mish... If Mish isn't a part of the revolution, then I don't even fucking want that revolution, okay? I can't look up anything because I have fucking safe search on. Yeah. Red Eye Sam with the $2. Dear Vosh, how dost thou do the combo on YouTube? You can't do the combo on YouTube. That's a website special, friend. This is the only time where Destiny has the right to take over Vosh. Wait, Flying Ice Wizard on what? I just hate utilitarianism, but we don't have to get into it. Wait, Destiny is also a utilitarian. Wow, that was pretty loud. What's wrong with utilitarianism? Every single time somebody has said they have a problem with utilitarianism and I've talked to them about it, they didn't understand what utilitarianism was. There are issues with the format, but... Yeah, Destiny and I are both rule utilitarians. A lot of people are. Hold on, let's finish with this. We've still got 2 more points to go over. Gonzoliet Deviation with $5. New River Workers' Power is a good example of the kinds of orgs we'll need to build a working class base. Needed to give socialism a chance in the U.S. Check them out if you can. Thank. Gonzaloit Deviation, send me a Discord DM. I'll never remember on my own during the stream, but if you send me that DM, I promise I'll take a look at any materials you send me. I read everything people DM me. Lil Matthias with $5. Hey Vosh, my dog was infested with an unknown disease some weeks back. His treatment ended up costing more than $6,000. My mom had to take up a loan. Can I post a GoFundMe link in the Discord? Oh, comrade. Yeah, you can post a GoFundMe link in the Discord. Don't spam it, but you're absolutely free to. Godspeed. Hope it works out. You can post it in the chat too if you choose to. Somniostatic with the unbelievably generous. You're so generous, comrade. What the fuck? $25. You need to do this format way more often. I can only complain about the left so much, but yeah, probably. I really, really like it. I got to do more debates too, though. You know. But yes, Somniostatic. Thank you so much for the support. Much appreciated, comrade. Solarant with the $1. Just started Pathologic 2 and oh god, what is happening? I'm scared. Have a good time, comrade. I will spoil nothing. Vivi Vavi with the $5. I think I speak for everyone when I say Kim Jong-un is a closeted trans girl. Think about it. We all know girls don't poop. The CIA has yet to uncover a sample of Kim Jong-un's feces. You'll figure out the rest. Vivi Vavi, that is deductive logic that I find personally impermeable. The premises follow flawlessly. Only girls do not poop. Kim Jong-un does not poop, therefore, it's good. That's good, Vivi Vavi. Marshall Tito with the $5. I see a lot of similarities between the woke scolding left and the religious right. Both shame people for not meeting impossibly high standards, both cultivate holier-than-thou complexes, and achieving wokeness is pretty much analogous to getting saved. Normally I don't like the blank is just like religion take, but in this instance I honestly genuinely do think it's pretty similar. The reason for that is because a lot of people are very emotionally weak and they base their identities around their ability to adhere to a given identity. And that tendency will always result in holier than thou complexes and like and this degree of you know, like adulation, like a higher order sort of thing, you know. So in that respect I think that it's a I think it's pretty comparable. Okay, we got to run through these quick. Antifa Super Soldier with the $2. How do you feel when you argue with a trans person and they dismiss you as cis? I get out my shovel because I've got another hole to dig. I don't know. That's the most infuriating kind of id pull, by the way. Hey, you can't disagree with me because you're blank. I dealt with a lot of that after the Thought Slime drama. That's one of the things that convinced me that Thought Slime was like a bad praxis, like bad actor. After the Thought Slime shit, not even the stream, after on Twitter, Thought Slime blocked me in an instance where he was pretty much at fault. A bunch of people like swarmed me talking about how like I as a cis dude had no right to discuss this. That's a really good indicator that he cultivates a really fucking toxic space around him. Hammer Time with the $1. I've used a lot of your takes verbatim against right-wingers. It has been exceedingly handy. You should do more debate teaching streams. Yep, Rhetoric 101 is up next, and after that, Politics 102. I haven't talked about that before. With Politics 101, we mostly talked about the very basic introduction to getting into politics, like what are the different political systems. Politics 102, I'm going to expand on that much more substantially. I'm going to talk about all of the different variations of existing rhetorical and like left-leaning political systems, their consequences, which ones are like coherent internally and which ones of them are not, which thing like a list of like dog whistles, all of these things. I want to like really build that up. You know, Donald Anderson with the $2 Canadian. When is Ask Yourself Part 2? Keep it real, brother. Probably anytime I want, right? I just haven't been in the vegan zone because Ask Yourself is on Discord and always very nice. I'll probably be talking to Vegan Gains soon, but it won't be on Rhetoric. I mean, it won't be on veganism. DJ Zirdev with $5. I'm still a fan of Thought Slime, Angie Speaks, and Peter Coffins, but I'm guessing you're on bad terms with these people. Is there any hope you can reach out to any of them on positive terms? I have nothing against Peter Coffin. Angie Speaks has something against me, and Thought Slime have something against each other. Thought Slime will literally never talk to me. Angie Speaks might talk to me one day, but I'm not sure. Peter Coffin, I don't know what their feelings are on me, but I imagine that they might one day be willing to talk. There's nothing wrong with being fans of these people. We all, I imagine, have very, very, very similar prescriptions for what needs to happen to the world. We just have different ways of wanting to get there. Wait, that sassless bitch, are you okay? Okay, weird. Did you ever get any opinions on TS's Destiny video? No, not on stream, but I listened to it myself. It was something. Wait, did Vosh literally grow up in Beverly Hills? Darn right I did. I mention that all the time. Trotsky. Thick person with a tier 1. Oh, Comrade Courtney. You're fucking spreading the love, comrade. Here now you can use the dicks emote. Damn, what generosity. MF Zoom with the $5. After just 6 months of watching you, I was able to trigger a bunch of Republicans in a conservative space. My penis became the big penis. That is what politics is about, okay? Holy shit. We've just got. What the fuck? Liquid Smoke with a 50 kronar. Yo, V, just saw a bad mouse vid posted 6 hours ago about this sort of thing, and I take it he doesn't think too highly of you. I don't normally say this. I wouldn't even say this for Thought Slime, but Bad Mouse is actually a clown. I went over it at the beginning of the video. You should go over it like the beginning of this stream. It was pretty fucking embarrassing. Essentially, Bad Mouse has problems with me because of my anti-tanky arc, but he's too much of a coward to actually explain what those problems are, and when I tried to ask him to explain, he accused me of sea lining. It's like really fucking embarrassing. Kays Plays Games with the $2. A lot of lefties on YouTube are bad on race issues. Yeah, probably. Donkey Show with the... Hold on, let me... With the unbelievably generous... I had to do a fucking conversion. With the unbelievably generous 1,000 pesos. Holy shit, Donkey Show. That is the largest single number that I have seen in my donos. And every peso is worth 1 heart. But I'm not going to do all those right now. Okay, that's going to be a lot. Hey, Donkey Show, thank you so much. That's incredibly kind of you. On one of the BreadTuber streams, I said people are too harsh with Vosh. I review the damning evidence. Not damning. Just clumsiness, IMO. BreadTuber chat scoffed at me. They flaunt the vanity of minutia. Migrants in concentration camps are the most V. And then it cuts out. And I'm going to look to see if the donation continues over here. Nope, it does not. Are the most V. The most very important? The most V? Whatever the case may be, I am deeply flattered by that dope-ass fucking dono, comrade. 1,000 pesos. How clean. Oh yeah, they took him out. They fucking Donkey Show. Kill him. Got him. Jesus, you folks are being kind. Shit. All right, we got to focus, though. We got to real focus. Donkey Show, though, I completely agree. Listen, I knew from the beginning, I knew from, like, day zero of me doing this that I wouldn't be, like, super well-liked in the broader lefty space. Because I'm edgy and because I'm irreverent and because I don't... Oh, you're free to, that sassless bitch, but I feel your criticisms are very largely unfounded. Whatever the case may be. Oh, it's that sassless bitch. You might want to stick around for the section of this stream where I talk about oversensitivity on the left. Whatever the case may be, can I at least get a hug IRL, dude? Interruptions! Guys, are you ready for it? Really quick before we can continue. Look, I've been working out for 2 entire weeks. Check out this fucking cake. How fucking mad are you? Ooh. I saw that, Comrade Courtney. Every ew gets a ban. Ban everyone. Kill them. Kill them. Kanga, you're doing good. You're getting better. I like them eyes. Okay. Time for me to unleash my... Oh, I didn't actually mean... Alright, well... Okay, let's focus, folks. This just in for Badmouse's server. Oh no! Oh no, no! Oh no, no, Badmouse! Oh no! So we got sexual harassment, overall intrusive and debate me manner, self-aggrandizement, gets pissed off after 1 second offhand remark, and plenty of this stuff. I like how he had to post this in his own Discord and not respond to it on Twitter. Ooh, embarrassing. All right, Badmouse is a clown. If you guys like Badmouse, that's cool. I'm not gonna like shame your shit or whatever, but this is like genuinely like embarrassing. That's okay. New plan? We ignore him. Because, like, goddamn. Yeah, I think Badmouse is... I do like to debate people, it's true. And I debate people because I like arriving at the truth of the matter. Not because I like... I don't really do the debate me bro culture. Can you guys... I'm serious. Can you think of a single person who I have harassed to debate me? I don't even do it to right-wingers. I usually wait for people to want to debate me and then I jump in. I've literally never done the debate me bro, debate me thing. Because it is annoying when people do that. So I don't do that. Hunter Avalon? Okay, true. I did it to Hunter. Okay, alright. No, I didn't even do it to Hunter Avalon. I did it to Hunter Avalon after Hunter Avalon acknowledged me on Twitter. And, okay, I did do it to Destiny. Alright. I did it on Destiny, okay? I'm gonna keep doing it on Destiny, too. I've been doing debate me bro to Destiny for 6 years now. I'm not stopping now. I'm fucking gonna keep debate. If Destiny ever gets kicked off Twitch and has to go work fucking computer job, I'm gonna snail mail letters over to that workplace. Debate me, bro, with a drawing of my face in the corner. It ain't never stopping. Yeah, the community does it for me, which is good. I'm fine with that. That tweet is real, right? Do you stand by it completely, or is it a little edgy posting on Twitter? Wait, what tweet? The tweet that he linked to? Probably. I stand by everything that I say. Was it like the joke that I made? The trans thing? This is like the oldest drama in the universe. Anyway, nah. Oh yeah, it's the trans tweet? God damn. Get some new drama. Get some new drama to milk. Alright. It's time to focus, my friends. You have probably heard of something called cancel culture, right? 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 Yes. The answer is you have. What the fuck is cancel culture? This is something I've actually wanted to talk about on my own for a while because a lot of people have no fucking idea what the fuck cancel culture means. It's gone haywire. It's such a popular term now. People misuse it all the time. And a lot of people say it doesn't even exist. I think it does exist. I think it exists and it's a real problem. However, first we have to define what it means. This is part 3 of 4 videos where I ever so eloquently explain my problems with the left, my personal problems, just my perspective. We're doing it real calm, real nice, very professional. Okay, so here is what cancel culture is not. How do I do it? Can I do a fade to black? Hold on, wait. I want to do it like something theatrical. How do I do it? Hey, what's up, folks? It's me, comedian number 72 off a Netflix special. Hey, folks! Wow! Yes. Is that an Oriental person right in the front? Ching chong to you, my friends. Now, first up, have you heard about this thing called cancel culture? I sold out the seats on only 64 of my 72 regional comedy specials over the past 3 years. Why do you think that is? Well, some people might think that it's because I'm old and dying slowly and I haven't gotten new material in 20 years and the world is leaving me behind and my kids won't call me anymore and I'm desperately compensating for my personal failures by writing out the same scripts over and over and over again, looking for that same validation that carried me through my 30s and 40s. Some people might say that, but it's not that. It's not actually that. It's this little thing called cancel culture, okay? Cancel culture. It's insane. Apparently, all you have to do is make a joke about gluten Tide Pods. And these millennials, they freak out. They lose their shit. Something trannies. I don't know. What makes you laugh? I have no idea. That's what cancel culture is not, okay? There is this wave. There is this fucking wave of like really fucking dishonest avocados. This really fucking like dishonest bad faith discourse surrounding cancel culture. There are people complaining about cancel culture who are multimillionaires. There are people complaining about cancel culture who have daytime TV slots that allow them access to more consistent viewership than the fucking population of some countries. There are some people complaining about cancel culture who are elected officials of the United States government. There are people fucking all over the place. None of these things are cancel culture. None of them are. When somebody says, hey, look, these college students at Berkeley tried to keep Milo Yiannopoulos from speaking, that's cancel culture. Cancel culture is insane. You can respond with, It's like cancel culture. That's deplatforming, you fucking idiot. And people have been doing it for ages. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, well, when James Alsop got banned off of YouTube, that's cancel culture. What? James Alsop was a literal neo-Nazi. He got banned off YouTube for violating their TOS. They're doing a crackdown on Nazis. What the fuck does that have to do with cancel culture? What the fuck do you think cancel culture... Do you think cancel culture literally means like anytime anybody can't do a thing? Oh... Well, some people don't think that Candace Owens was the right person to talk about white supremacy. Do you have any fucking idea what cancel culture? Shut up! Listen, if anyone who is right-leaning or even center-leaning comes up to you and talks to you about cancel culture, fucking get your Glock. Do you have a local Glock drawer? This is my Glock drawer. Look. Mood stabilizers, cough medication, and a little further in, damn, boxes of ammunition. Keep your Glock drawer right on hand, and then show it to them and bond over a shared appreciation of gun culture, because political violence is wrong, friends. Cancel culture exists, but it is something that can only exist within a given social space, not between different social spaces. Let me give you an example. What do you think would happen to me if somebody like Steven Crowder canceled me? So Steven Crowder goes on there and, hey, I heard about this new YouTuber, Zeus. Pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. Got a little man bun there. This little guy's a freaking douchebag or something like that. Little 12-minute, yeah, like call me a soy boy or some shit. What do you think would happen to me? Well, I would probably get a lot of harassment from Crowder's fans, and that would probably suck. A lot of probably doxing, targeted threats. Now, what would happen to my fan base? Absolutely nothing. In fact, my fan base might even get bigger. In fact, it would be guaranteed to get significantly larger on account of that. Guaranteed. It would only grow. In terms of my fan base, I could only explode from that. I couldn't be canceled by Steven Crowder. There was literally nothing Steven Crowder could do to cancel me. It's incredible. Nothing at all that he could do. Even if I was going to an event like Minds IRL or some lefty rally, and somehow they protested there to keep me off the stage, what do you think would happen to my fan base? Nothing. Nothing would happen to my fan base. No harm comes to my reputation when I am canceled by people who are the opposition. And for that reason, it's not cancel culture. It's just deplatforming. It's just harassment. It's just being targeted. This isn't cancel culture. However, what do you think would happen to my fan base if one day, and this would never happen, but I hope, but if one day, ContraPoints put out a short video saying, hey guys, Natalie here, and of course she looks beautiful as always. I've heard a lot of people saying stuff about this YouTuber named Vosh, and I really don't think you guys should be fucking with him. He's done some really bad shit. You can see here these transphobia tweets, and you can see here the sexual harassment, and I just, he could have been a good boy, but I just think that my fan base would erupt. There would literally be a fucking it would be a fucking civil war in my fan base. My ability to market myself within the left for years would be fucked, because the single largest lefty content creator, period, canceled me. That would be cancel culture. And that is something that only somebody within my social space has the power to do. Because the canceling portion of the cancel culture, what is cancel? That doesn't just mean disagreeing with someone or even depriving them of material resources. Those things aren't necessarily canceling. What it means is you are condemning that person along the same ethical lines that they have built their fan base along. You are not saying, hey, this person's shit. You're saying, hey, this person is shit for the community that we share. And that right there is a critical distinction that people really fail to acknowledge. That's the distinction that makes the difference between cancel culture and just being insulted or being condemned or told off by someone else. If a Nazi comes up to me and says, hey, Vosh, you hate the white man, you hate the white race, no one's fucking canceling me. But if a trans woman comes up to me on Twitter and says, fuck you, Vosh, what the fuck are you doing? You don't give a fuck about trans people. You said you wanted to kill all of us. You're horrible for trans people. I don't know how you deluded your fan base into believing that you're not transphobic. Fuck you. Anyone who follows me, stop watching Vosh. He's a liar and a grifter. That'd be it. I mean, well, that wouldn't be it in the sense that that would be over for me because this happens to me on a daily basis. That would be it in the sense that that's a product of cancel culture right there. And this is the distinction I want to ham home. So if a right-leaning person ever complains about cancel culture from the left, you can tell them, you can request of them within the guidelines of YouTube's TOS to kill themselves respectfully. You can say, you can make a consequentialist argument. Hey, I believe the world would be a better place if you took your own life. Please consider this. Do so. Now, the right can actually cancel culture itself sometimes from within. That actually has happened. I'm struggling to think of examples right now, but I do remember there being drama between different Nazis in like the Nazi sphere of the right over which ones are like selling out to the Jew. I remember this. Wasn't it between Alsop and Nicholas Fuentes, or was it different? Milo, I don't know if what I would count Milo. I don't know if I would count Milo. What happened with Milo is Milo just became so like deplorable that he wasn't marketable anymore, you know? You could make the argument, though. Whatever the case is, yeah, exactly. Milo's usefulness ran out. Oh, yeah, sometimes there are far-right fascist isolationists who will talk shit about Ben Shapiro because Ben Shapiro is a hawk, you know? The dude from InfoWars and Ben Shapiro. Oh, that's right. Perfect. Paul Joseph Watson and Ben Shapiro. Now, Paul Joseph Watson and Ben Shapiro are both fascists. Paul Joseph Watson might be a Nazi, but I'm not sure. Paul Joseph Watson gave Ben Shapiro a ton of shit for being pro-war, whereas Paul Joseph Watson is more of the classically isolationist fascist type rather than the hawkish neocon fascist type, you know? That was kind of like cancel culture. That stuff happens. But again, it only happens from within a community because you can only cancel people insofar as you're capable of saying that they do not fulfill like the needs of their audience's sort of moral alignment. But let's talk about cancel culture, huh? Let's talk about it, huh? Cancel culture exists within the left. I experience it all the time. Guys, do I really need to say this? Like, is it really surprising to you if I come up to you and say like, hello, my name is Vosh, and people constantly tell me that I'm not good enough for the left, and that I'm actually a grifter and a bigot, and a reactionary, and a radlib, and a transphobe, and that my viewers should go somewhere else. Is it really surprising to you that I get this day in and day out? Do I need to grandstand about it? Got the sniffles. So we don't really need to grandstand about that. The problem is cancel culture really, really hurts people that we should be building spaces together with. Now, there are two groups here. There are the big boy content creators, okay? And then there are the non-content creators, the public figure and the non-public figure. And this is always an important distinction because you and I, you being the presumed non-public figure, are going to experience these issues from a different lens than I will. Obviously, we interact with the social space in a different way. Now, in terms of the non-public figure, marginalized people get fucked by cancel culture harder than anyone else. I can't tell you how many times I've seen like trans people, for example, or like people of color try to like assimilate with a leftist community, because that's of course where they're going to find like the most help, the greatest degree of safety, you know, it's within the left. And but then for them to like not meet a standard, to like slightly deviate or maybe like fuck up once, and then these people get fucking axed. I've seen this happen before. This isn't like a super common thing or anything, but it's really fucked up when it does happen. Imagine the like, I don't know, dude, just like imagine the like the feeling of contentedness and peace and like, you know, safety that you might get from being in a from being a member of a marginalized community, and then like you like aren't perfectly in line, or you aren't perfectly in sync with what people expect, and there's someone there with a little bit more social authority than you, and they come at you and they're like, hey, are you really, you know, like a part of us? Are you really a part of this? Are you really in line? And then you just get like thrown out. Yeah, it's happened to me a lot in all black Discord server. It's be slightly center and all of a sudden you're a 4chaner. I assume you're black. That adds a lot of context, I imagine, to what you're saying. This happens a lot. And it's really fucking sad. This fits in a lot with the purity testing thing. Cancel culture and purity testing are basically two sides of the same coin. The difference being that woke scolding doesn't necessarily lead intrinsically to like a condemnation and exclusion of a person, whereas cancel culture basically inherently does. Happened to me with the SCP IRC community, happens to me a lot. Yeah. And again, like, I'm not saying if you're like trans and you go into a trans Discord server and you show up there and you're like, hello, my fellow N-words. Hate the Jews. Like, I'm not saying that no behavior is so bad that it can get you reasonably kicked out of a social space. That would be pretty dumb of me. I'm not making that claim. The claim I'm just trying to make is that, like, our trigger fingers sometimes are really, really fucking heavy, you know? Or really light. I'm terribly sorry. No, wait. Our trigger fingers are ready. The trigger guard is light. Yeah, there you go. Or something. And when that does happen, it means that not only are we making our space more homogenous, which in a way makes it weaker because it's less capable of assimilating, you know, different groups. It also means that we're throwing people out who kind of need that protection. This is much more easily evidenced fucking up here in the fucking public figure space. And this is really shitty. I mean, look at what happened to Contra. Listen, it should be known, I'm 100% a fucking, like, Contra fan, you know? Not a stan or any weird shit like that. But, like, yeah, I really like Contra. I have a ton of respect for her. And I also think that she got treated really poorly during all of this drama with non-binary shit. I think claims made against her were blown way the fuck out of proportion, that people were being super fucking disingenuous. And a lot of the people who were being super fucking disingenuous after she left Twitter were like gloating about it. I have no respect for like people who believe that leftist progress can be made by like fucking harassing the best leftist advocate that we've ever seen on this platform off because like you disagree with a few personal takes that she has on pronoun usage. I think that's really fucking disgusting. Just really quick, in my personal opinion, if you're one of the people who looks at what happens to Contra and you think like, okay, well, she probably kind of deserved it, you're probably a fucking cunt. I'm really sorry. You're probably a huge fucking cunt and not a very good advocate for leftism either. I'm really sorry that Contra's fucking personal experiences triggered the shit out of you or something, but Contra has done more for like trans rights than basically any other human alive at this point, and I feel like that owes her some degree of respectability and like like due diligence, you know? In my Humble opinion. Whatever the case may be, ContraPoints fucking lent her opinion on the pronoun shit, and though she wasn't canceled, like, completely or anything, there was an effort to cancel her. And because ContraPoints is a trans woman who's built herself as a pillar of the leftist space on YouTube, there is no other avenue that she can really reside on. Her safety and her sustainability as a content creator are kind of dependent on the social structures that she's already a part of. You know what I mean? I, however, if I like got hyper canceled by the left or whatever, you know, hypothetically, I can survive decently well because I have the social capital by way of not just being charismatic, but also being of a cisgender white dude, to kind of build myself elsewise. I guarantee you, a lot of you right now are watching me in spite of having been told by other people not to watch me. And that's cool, and it makes me feel very edgy and what have you. However, that ability is probably bolstered by the fact that I have privilege, inherent to sort of my demographic status. This cancel culture shit is bad when it does happen. Look at what happened to ContraPoints. Look at what happened to Peter Coffin. Look at what happened to fucking H-Bomber Guy. Now, did anyone get completely canceled over this? No, but it hurts, and it's divisive. It hurts the left. It doesn't make for good advocacy. It doesn't make us look particularly good to other people when we look like a bunch of screaming, mewling children who are constantly arguing with one another over minor differences and positions that are so radical they wouldn't even be taken seriously outside of our community. That's a little bit fucking weird. What happened with Peter and H-Bomb? H-Bomb was accused of defending a friend who raped somebody, and something similar with Peter. You guys don't know what happened with H-Bomber Guy? It really depends on what circles of Twitter you're in, but H-Bomber Guy has gotten his own cancel culture shit. There's a was that the Angie Speak stuff? Yes. There's a concept called tactical unity that I'm rather fond of. And it essentially means this: work together with people who have shared interests and divide yourself amongst mutually exclusive interests only when a time has been reached where there is no opportunity other than that. Like, you have no other choices. There's no other room to move. I'm willing to work with liberals, so capitalists, against fascism and Nazism. Destiny, we all know Destiny here, right? Destiny is a liberal. He is. Probably some variant of neolib or suckdem or whatever. However, Destiny is very progressive. He is. I know a lot of people say oh God, well, look at that debate with non-compete or whatever. Nah, Destiny has advocated for race and gender abolitionism. Destiny wants open borders. Destiny is genuinely a progressive person. And even though he is a filthy, disgusting capitalist, I am willing to work with him on the progressive element, moving forward on that, shared interests, shared goals. And then eventually, when the fork in the road is reached, capitalism, socialism, that is where we have to pick our fights. ContraPoints got canceled because ContraPoints had reservations against certain social spaces where everyone was expected to share their pronouns. And she said it made her feel uncomfortable because if she went to just your regular old cisgender Southern bar, everyone would call her she and ma'am and her. Because it's ContraPoints, But if she goes into these super woke communities who are A, aware of who ContraPoints is, and B, probably a little bit better at, clocking people, because a greater degree of familiarity with trans people usually means that it's more likely that you're able to, recognize trans or non-binary people based on their presentation, their appearance, and what have you. So ContraPoints will go into a regular fucking bar, get treated like a lady. ContraPoints will go into one of these spaces, one of these hyper-woke progressive spaces, and everyone will sit down in a circle and share pronouns, but everyone there is cis except for her. So they're all staring at Contra, just waiting. And it seems like a process, at least in her experience, that kind of felt a little bit dysphoria inducing. Now, a lot of NB people like having the pronoun shit because a lot of NBs, because they, them, you never like look and see they, them, or at least it's very hard to. So they like having the opportunity to say that. Guys, these are really minor ideological differences that affect the material world insubstantially. These are differences in personal preferences concerning their integration into spaces that are like 0.001% of spaces. And the worst possible outcome of differences here is that people like quickly correct themselves and go like, actually, okay, I'm more comfortable with this. Oh, okay. But people on Twitter were losing their shit over it. They're fucking going crazy over nothing. It's not nothing. I mean, your feelings are valid or whatever, but this is like so much. Guys, there is a global resurgence of fascism. Trans people are being like fucking fucked out of legal rights all across even America. Why would you ever think it is acceptable to start drawing lines in the dirt between something that in comparison to the problems most people are dealing with are as ideologically inconsequential as a preference between orange or apple juice? Hey guys, are you ready for it? I'm about to drop a fucking hot fucking take. I'm a fucking cis white dude, okay? I'm middle class. What? Look, I'm doing it, okay? I'm even doing it in my hot take position, okay? Are you fucking ready for it, okay? If you, as a fucking NB or trans or whatever the fuck person, are so incensed with ContraPoints' take or behavior that you think it's worth harassing and trying to cancel a nearly million sub pro-trans left-leaning YouTuber because of this minor ideological disagreement, you're fucking privileged and you are completely distanced from the needs and the interests and the material concerns of the vast majority of the population. You were like, wait, you're not even in the same fucking ballpark. And if you aren't privileged, if you are like legit fucking 3 jobs, barely able to sustain yourself, poor fucking lower income and non-binary whatever the fuck person, and you still give a shit about this, then you're not privileged, you're just delusional. You're acting against your own class interest. I can see it now. The Porkies fucking you know how many fucking right-leaning Twitter accounts were like, look at this. The left can't even handle itself. ContraPoints deleting her Twitter. Ooh, Contra, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Oh, those people are like children, aren't they? I can imagine Porky fucking like, yes, excellent. We tried to deal with ContraPoints' channel every way we could. We tried demonetizing. We couldn't stop her. But then some people didn't like the fact that she didn't like being asked her pronouns in hyper workspaces, and they've all lost their minds. Like, fucking God. I imagine what kind of fucking brainworms a person could have to believe that that's worth the response that it got. And that's the issue to me. Tactical unity, the idea that you should work together with people as long as you have something to work together on. We do this in our day-to-day lives every day too. Every single fucking day of our lives. When you talk to someone out on the street, when you need something from someone else, when you call on somebody for help, do you then go ahead and like invoke every single potential disagreement you have between these people? No, of course you don't. When you need help from people, or when people need help from you, you focus on the things you can help each other on, and if you do have problems, you generally save them from when they're pertinent or relevant. But people online can't do that, because people online have no sense of perspective, because people online have no fucking idea what it means to actually engage in praxis. For people online, the angry tweet threads that condemn ContraPoints or me or whatever for having this and this bad take, this to them, this in their mind, this is praxis. This is as good as praxis gets. That is some high tier, top level political engagement. What is the clear difference between tactical unity versus shit like class reductionism? Well, that's just the thing. I hate class reductionism. I really do. I hate it. I very much believe in progressive, like really advocating for progressive politics. I mean, look at my fucking platform. Look at the videos I make. How could anyone condemn me for being a fucking for being a class reductionist? I don't think this descends necessarily into class reductionism in the slightest. If you have people who are interested in a proletarian revolution, but they're kind of fucky with trans or gay or fucking black people or whatever, be like, hey, you can spread your lefty unity shit, but your fucking reactionary politics or your lack of progressive politics are going to be a real fucking problem down the line. Work together with people when you can, but try and move them towards your position when it's efficacious to do so. That's the process. You include and then you pull. You include and then you pull. That's how the Nazis do it. Nazis cast their net out to fucking Reddit. They cast their net out to Twitter. They cast their net out to 4 and 8chan. They throw the net out. And then you pull them in with the memes. You get them with the memes. It starts with the fucking light memes, like the haha black people talk funny. And then it ends with the black people are brutally fucking murdering white women out on the street in daytime in fucking Philadelphia. And the Jews won't do anything about it because they control the fucking... You have to... You include and then you pull. That's how you do it. And that's not for my benefit, and that's not for Contra's benefit. That's the benefit of everyone. Contra's making enough money to live a comfortable life. I'm making enough money to live a comfortable life. It's not for our benefit. It's because this is literally how you win. This is how you win culture wars. This is how you win ideological disagreements. This is how you beat other people. By doing this, and doing it better, by including, by pulling in, working with people when you can, building shared strength. Not focusing on very tiny ideological differences that you believe are so substantial that you're going to make an effort to get someone literally fucking canceled over, harassing it off the platform and gloating when they leave. There are no two people who agree 100% on every single issue. We make it work in our day-to-day lives. We have to make it work in our political spaces too. And if you're one of those people who can only interact in real life with people who 100% agree with you and you can't deal with any disagreement whatsoever, you probably are a cunt. You're probably just a bad person, or insufferable, or maybe you're like really fucking autistically bad at social engagement. I'm autistic, I can say it. You have to work on that. I'm sorry. Your desire to take that like pathological incapability to work with others into leftism would be as bad as me trying to take my pathological inability to see black people as human into leftism. The difference is that speaking nothing of ethics, me not seeing black people as human, I could still actually be a decent advocate for at least some aspects of left unity, but you can't do it for any of them. You're so bad, dude. Just fucking coalition build. God damn it. Also, black people are human, and if you think otherwise, that's a bad thing, okay? That's 3 out of 4. Maybe we can argue about pronouns when they get them their rights first. We can argue about pronouns today. What we can't do is fucking ostracize people from social spaces because we disagree over pronouns. Oh, Twuppy, definitely sometime in the next week. 100%. 100%. I don't mean to take your expertise for granted or anything. Just the cough, and I still have it. I'm suppressing myself pretty heavily with cough drops. Has made me pretty darn grumpy. Oh, God. How does this happen? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yachty, yachty! Alright. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go over donos. Then we've got one more to do. I appreciate everyone's patience and cooperation. NPC Porky with the $1. Can you be more specific on your claim Putin is undermining Western democracy? I suppose your position is more nuanced than my Russiagate. Yeah, it's not even just in America. Go take a look at all the far-right organizations in Europe that Russia has funded over the past decade or so. It's wild. They have ties in over a dozen countries. It's actually pretty... It's actually all over the fucking place. It's a real thing. Putin, like, legitimately is a threat to democracy. The degree to which you can overstate that varies in instance to instance, but, like, we shouldn't like ignore the threat. Oh, by the way, hey guys, want a fun meme that you can throw at tankies? Just remember that Putin worked with the KGB back during the USSR and is now a hyper-capitalist, oligarchical, brutal authoritarian dictator who was fiercely nationalistic after the USSR fell. His interest in the USSR had more to do with Russia land acquisition and territory than it had to do with capitalism versus communism or the liberation of the proletariat. It almost makes it seem like the power structures that existed within the USSR were more interested in the exact same imperialist power building that America was interested in, rather than building any real socialism. Just a meme. Thank you, Kanga. It's absolutely disgusting. All right. Deep State Agent, thank you for being the recipient of a gifted donation from Comrade Courtney. Dicks. Dicks! That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. Thank you, comrade. ATD Fire with the 1229. Thank you. Maith Ashara. Well done in Irish. Maith Ashara. Well done in Irish. A mystery to me. Also, what's your views on Irish republicanism, given it tends to be socialist in the north and more progressive while still being nationalist by definition? ATD Fire, I just don't like nationalist liberation movements. Every single nationalist uprising that has ever happened to my memory has ended up being reactionary and every bit as bad as the original. Maybe I'm okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm being uncharitable. Keep in mind, I've been arguing so hard against tankies for like a month now. So like anytime I just hear like nationalist, socialist, like revolt, like I don't know. Read about the Black Panthers? Don't ever tell me to read about the Black Panthers. They're the ones who got me into leftism. Cuba? Yeah, I guess Cuba was pretty nationalistic. Vietnam. Whoa. Guys, the fucking Black Panthers never seized any portion of the United States. Who knows what could have happened if the Black Panthers had actually taken control. I don't know if you guys noticed, by the way, the Black Panthers literally fell apart because they had cult of personalities building within their ranks, and because there was, a lot of this was fucking FBI bill, but there were a lot of internal problems with the Black Panthers. Their better points were not their fucking nationalism. Black nationalism has never been as good as the people advocating for it. Also, Vietnamese imperialism fucked over Cambodia, didn't it? National liberation was advocated by Marx. You can have national liberation without framing it through nationalism. Listen, guys, shut the fuck up. It's a complicated point. Nationalist parties, whether they're socialist or not, have had difficult... Wait, Cambodia was bad? Vietnam saved Cambodia. Wait. Are you guys telling me you don't stand with Pol Pot? Okay. I don't like nationalism. I don't like it. No, it's not simple. I agree. I don't like nationalism. There are a lot of nationalist fucking movements that get real bad. I'm so, guys, listen, okay, I'll be honest with you. Okay, listen, it's more complicated than I give it credit for. However, every time I think of, like, emancipatory nationalism, I think of fucking Assad, and I think of tankies defending Assad, and I have an aneurysm, okay? Can we just, listen, can we just agree that states are bad, and that if a nationalist movement is to do any good, it's in spite of the fact that it's nationalist? All right. At Walmart, I don't control anything about the website. You need to go into the Discord and talk to White Nervosa. All right, anyway. It's so fucking warm in here. Holy shit. ATD Fire, let's call it a draw, okay? Underscores with the unbelievably generous 25 bucks. Thank you. God damn. That's very kind of you, comrade. Thank you. TY? TY to you. TY to you, brother. Is the window open? No. Nationalism is a very mixed bag. The thing is, nationalism is very powerful. If you draw upon the power of the state, there's usually a pretty decent chance that you're going to be able to drum up more material support, monetarily especially, than you ever could if you just relied on, like, populist movements within the realm of a state. It just has bad outcomes sometimes. Seven of Spades with the $5. It's funny and sad that if the left had gotten to me first, I wouldn't be a leftist. So keep up the good work, Vosh. Thank you, comrade. Happy to help. I Wombo you Wombo 1 with the tier 1 sub. Thank you. I'm excited for the JLP episode. Any idea when he might release it? It should be within 2 or 3 weeks. It should be pretty soon. At Vosh, did Assad oppose exploitation of Syria by foreign powers? I mean, not really. Assad just worked with those imperialistic foreign powers. If Assad didn't actually oppose the exploitation of Syria, then was he really nationalist? Yes, you can be nationalist and let your people get fucked over by other imperialist regimes. Can we stop? Donkey Show with the 200 pesos. Thank you. Most vulnerable. But I have yet to hear them defend them the way they defend NB, which, sorry folks, doesn't even come close. True! Fucking most lefty spaces are way more concerned with pronouns than they are with literal concentration camps. The children now traumatized for life by real state violence. F bread tubers in their bread box. True! That's what I'm saying. Byzantine Dark Wraith, we're done with the topic. The Shadow Bee with the $2 Canadian. This might be too radical, but pee-pee with no poo-poo. Damn. Kevin Gagnon with the 20 Canadian bucks. Fucking thank you, comrade. God damn. So kind. So generous. I really appreciate it. Is Vosh Arabic truing? True! There we go. That was my ethnic true. Kevin Gagnon with the $2 Canadian. Thanks for helping me improve. Thank you for helping me afford wet wipes when I go to Target later today so I can poop clean. Kamat Zutz with the $5. Talking to you will probably get me canceled, but there are a few things I'd like to discuss. At me on Twitter. Wait, but I don't know who you are. Wait, you didn't give me a Twitter to add. Kamatzalt's altar? I mean, maybe we can talk sometime, but I'm going to be pretty busy in the upcoming weeks. Message me on Discord. Larry Banks with the $1. Criticisms I have with BreadTube and community always feels that you have to watch what you say because many on the left go after people for what they feel did bad, like Contra, where she was overhead and insistent like over Twitter, not you. Yeah. It's pretty fucking gay. You got to be like super fucking careful. when talking in those communities because people fucking jump on you for nothing. Red Eye Sam with the $10. Thank you. Is the Contra controversy over now, or is it still going on? I also some politigrammer tried to argue she was actually alt-right because of a reptile joke, because Nazis used it to dog whistle the JQ. Yeah, I saw people saying that Contra was secretly alt-right, and those people are very, very dumb. The people like that unironically make me want to have go back to the fucking 1920s and have IQ tests to enter the left. Fuck me. It's not done because Contra hasn't released a video since leaving Twitter, and that's so I feel like maybe she'll address it there. Sake Tanuki with the $5. Do you think the reason the left is more unorganized and splits more often than the right might be due to the right being super receptive to getting large sums of money and getting such? Well, it's not just that the right is super receptive to getting large sums of money. It's because the right has people who are willing to give them money. No one's willing to fund the left in the same way they fund the right, because the right tends to work in line with business interests and the wealthy. But there are other reasons too, considering the left tends to be anti-establishment. You know, I've turned down a lot of sponsorships. Would defending North Korea from imperialism from the US while still acknowledging it's a fascist state that isn't at all socialist still be tanky or no? No, that wouldn't be tanky. You're just like choosing the lesser of two evils. Though honestly, from what I know, I keep getting like tanky links to North Korea. Actually, it's highly democratic. Fuck kill me. I keep getting that shit, but I'm pretty sure that like I don't know, dude. North Korea is really fucking bad. Ruse321 with the $10. Thank you. I got canceled on Twitter by thousands of lefties who I didn't even disagree with. If it weren't for my principles, I could imagine someone in my position being radicalized to the right. Ruse321. What the fuck did you do to get canceled by thousands of them? Jesus. Well, you're alive. I guess that's what matters most. Yeah, that process can be pretty radicalizing. Every time somebody online who's black says something mean to me, I want to say the N-word on stream. Yeah, North Korea might actually be one of the least the worst states to ever exist, period. Like on an internal level, in terms of like its internal like systemic construction. He said the N-word several times and then wouldn't apologize. Oh, well, what are you going to do? What would you do with Saudi Arabia? Fucking sanction it until it's gone? Sanction it until the kingdom collapses? I don't know. Alright, I'm here. We're almost done. Then we've got one more point. Red Eye Sam with the $2. Instead of net, I heard nen. HXH reference. Hell yeah. If only I knew what that meant. I know what HXH is. I don't know what the hen is. Beyonce. Wow, it's Beyonce. With the $5. Hey, Vosh, do you think having the time and brain space to be able to constantly woke scold people is a sign of privilege? Ha ha ha! Yes. You kidding me? Listen, I've spoken to a lot of fucking marginalized people, okay? And the ones who have time to constantly be up other people's asses for not being woke enough got a lot more free time than the ones who do not. 100%. Easy. Now, it is possible to be pretty fucking marginalized and still be woke scolding. In fact, it's pretty common, but hoo boy. Hoo boy. Hey, Cyborg Lexi. And we are Oplu 45 with a tier 2 sub. Thank you. Enjoy the dark orange name. There, I fixed it. You did fix it, comrade. You did. Vosh, but wouldn't trying to overthrow the Saudi government be imperialism, even if only through sanctions? Yeah, imperialism is not intrinsically bad. Kanye, I've noticed you like 18 times this stream. Fuck you. Imperialism is not intrinsically bad. What if there was a country that was genociding its own civilians and you could engage in imperialism to stop them from doing it? Like, you realize us fighting against the Nazis in World War II was unquestionably a form of imperialism, right? Going full utilitarian? Yeah, absolutely I'm going full utilitarian with that. Daddy Vosh, please. No. Guys. Stop being such fucking deontologists. Jesus Christ. Imperialism against marginalized races is never justified. Alright, I can see why you're banned from the Discord. That was too stupid for me to participate with. So, so for those of you who are curious, imperialism is not intrinsically bad. It is bad for the things it typically leads to, like, say, war, genocide, economic deprivation, so on and so forth. Hypothetically, it is possible for you to engage in imperialism for good outcomes. World War II was an example of that. What do you think happened when America and England and Australia and France and the USSR marched into Germany? What do you think that is? We even kept Germany afterwards. We kept fucking military bases there. Is anything intrinsically bad? It depends on how close to the bad you are, you know? Like you could make the argument like, well, rape isn't intrinsically bad. It's actually the emotional trauma and physical damage, but that's pretty reductive. Imperialism can legitimately happen for good. Imperialism presupposes a state. Well, yeah, that's the world we live in right now. Okay, fine. Yeah, let me phrase. That's called war. Yeah, war and imperialism are intrinsically tied to one another. Also, we didn't just engage in war against Germany, we literally conquered them. We held their territories afterwards. Also, if you're arguing that posing sanctions on Saudi Arabia is imperialism, but invading a country is not imperialism, that's. It's pretty dumb. But states are bad? What the fuck are you people talking about? I have legitimately, like, no fucking idea what you people are talking about. So your take is market socialism needs a state or it doesn't? Market socialism would have a state. Socialist state. If it was not a state, then it would be communism. Or some kind of anarchist syndicate. I have no fucking idea what you people are going on about right now. A lot of you people are really fucking confused. Our invasion of Germany was absolutely imperialism, and that's fine. We stopped the genocidal fascist regime. We literally stopped the Nazis. It's okay. I'm okay with imperialism if it means putting sanctions on Saudi fucking Arabia, yes. You guys are getting like brain worm. Wait, Twappy, you know way more than I do. Am I giving you brain worms or is chat giving you brain worms? I guess you aren't wrong, but do you agree starting a war with North Korea would be a pretty bad idea? Under almost like any circumstances, if there was some sort of like perfect coalition force that could go into North Korea quickly, like cut off the head of the government and then like integrate them into South Korea, I would agree with that. But I don't think that's really possible. Socialist state, please don't, Vosh. What the fuck do you mean socialist state, please don't? Yes, a state that is socialist. I'm gonna fucking lose it. What is going on right now? I have no idea. How can so many of you have so many different versions of bad takes? This is insane to me. How? What the fuck is going on? This is left unity. Yeah. The USSA joined World War II because Japan occupied a bunch of our Pacific Island colonies? Yeah? When? What does that have to do with anything? I have no idea. Guys, listen. All right, chat. Chat needs to shut the fuck up right the fuck now. A lot of you right now are arguing positions that you are either completely ignorant of, or you're arguing positions that I don't even necessarily disagree with. You just heard the words imperialism can be good sometimes, and all of you fucking reached in through your ear and pulled the fucking autism drawstring. And all of you right now are venting it. You're fucking motoring through all of your autism oil as hard as you can. Is it still imperialism if it's retaliatory? Well, then nothing we do in Saudi Arabia is imperialistic because they fucking did 9/11. Vosh, define imperialism? Imperialism, oh my god. Imperialism is one of those words that is sort of contextually agreed upon, okay? It has an emergent definition. Imperialism doesn't just mean like invading someone, but it also doesn't just mean not invading someone. Imperialism, if in order to determine something is imperialism, you have to measure the motives of the state actors who are engaging in that behavior. You have to take a look at the historical context. Someone earlier said that putting sanctions on Saudi Arabia would be imperialism. I strongly disagree with that assessment, mind you. But if that is the case, then that's an indication, that's like an example of imperialism being good. Fucking Saudi Arabia is literally like a legion of terror. It's all like Saudi Arabia is like a fucking horrible state. I don't know why we wouldn't want to sanction them. God, like I feel like sometimes when people talk about things like this, they can only think about it in the right way if they're working through like the approved leftist speak. Watch this, guys, watch this, okay? Here, let me phrase this in two different ways. I believe we should put sanctions on Saudi Arabia to facilitate a climate of political instability and hopefully destroy the monarchy. Ah, that's imperialism. You can. Or alternatively, I believe we should place sanctions on the Saudi Arabian monarchy that lower the price of oil and destroy their ability to maintain control over their territories, while also giving funds to leftist insurgency groups within Saudi Arabia. Oh, that's totally good, bro. That's not imperialism. That's glorious dialectical, material, Marxist international solidarity. Ah, nice. Nice, bro. That's not imperialism at all. That's woke imperialism, which isn't actually imperialism. I feel I feel like a lot of people like you can't. It reminds me, it was like literally like hey my dude, it was imperialism is bad. Oh, well, it was imperialism bad when USSR did it to all of its neighboring countries? That wasn't imperialism. That was dialectical international solidarity, comrade. You would know that if you were familiar with the immortal science of Marxism. Shut the fuck up. It's actually brainworms. It actually is. It's like there's something wrong with your head that keeps you from thinking about the ideas. You can only think about them in response to like the trigger words. You're like the FBI like sleeper mole, you know? You hear the term, you hear imperialism, like the fucking red light goes off. You hear supporting revolutionary workers abroad, the green light goes off. Like pfft. Okay. Hold on. Now that I've wasted 20 minutes of everyone's life making fun of like two people in chat who probably just didn't communicate their positions well and probably generally agree with me, let's go on to the fourth point that we're going to talk about, huh? Well, hold that thought. Renticle tape. You must be really new to the left as a whole if you're not familiar with who ContraPoints is. ContraPoints is a really theatric trans female lefty YouTuber who talks mostly about cultural issues, particularly concerning gender and trans issues. She's very popular and a good watch. All right. Infinite knows. Yeah, Twappy, foreign policy. Twappy, your knowledge of foreign policy exceeds me by like legions. However, I agree. Yeah, I often feel like there's like a particular flavor of brainworms concerning them, and I don't I don't know. Twappy, we gotta have that talk. We gotta talk foreign policy, guys. Twappy was one of the gravel teens, and now works as a foreign policy advisor for a statesperson. Like they actually exist in the political sphere, you know. Twappy is a cool Deuterino, or actually, I have no idea what their gender is, but Deuterino is gender neutral. Okay, let's focus, folks. Let me close the window. I've lowered the temp in here by like 10 degrees. We've done it. We have arrived now at video number 4 of this rant. If you haven't, you should probably watch the previous 3 ones that I did. I talked about gatekeeping, woke scolding / purity testing, and cancel culture. And those were the first 3. And now the 4th one I want to talk about is, well, it's kind of a mix of the 3. I mean, they're all interrelated. All of these concepts are pretty put together. But before I go in on it, this one's going to be a little bit more sensitive because the 4th point is it's hypersensitivity. I think the left is hypersensitive in a bad way. I think it's a real problem. So before we get into this, I'm gonna make some disclosures. So I am not generally a particularly sensitive person. Now, does that mean I never get offended? No, of course not. Yeah, we all have our moments. But for the most part, I'm cool with being abrasive. I'm cool with other people being abrasive. I like that culture, that environment. I grew up on Twitch culture for the most part, and before that, even earlier, like IRC culture was pretty edgy there. Even when it wasn't reactionary, it was still pretty irreverent. That edgy irony that allows you to, it's getting picked up on a lot of spaces today. For a while, I remember the only people who I would hear say fag would be like white cisgender gay men who would all like pal buddy buddy with one another, like, oh yeah, we're just a bunch of fags. And now trans people are doing it too, and I think that's nice. I think that's nice because it's kind of liberating to feel like you're deconstructing and sort of breaking a word that's typically used to marginalize you. I'm going to talk about this. I want to make it known 2 things, though, okay? I'll be talking about mental illness, which I think is present in some portions of the online English-speaking left. It's present everywhere, but I think here maybe more so than elsewhere. I am mentally ill, to a decent extent. See? Right up here. Look at that. Lithium. For mood stabilizers. And I took antidepressants for a while. Now this isn't a competition. It's not a goal like, oh, who's mentally ill, who's the most mentally ill, this person gets to say the most. I'm only saying that I have had my own struggles with mental illness. I have been suicidal. I have wanted to kill myself. Really sucked, was suboptimal, and for that reason I have a lot of sympathy for other people who are going through that. I learned that sympathy very painfully myself, and in a way I'm thankful for it, because prior to my experiences with mental illness, I couldn't fathom what could make another person lose their interest in living. It just didn't make sense to me, Oh, life's bad? Well, why don't you just go on a trip, bro? You want to kill yourself? Why not just go backpacking across Europe? If you're gonna die anyway, what difference does it make? Okay. Gotten past that. Have a little bit more sympathy now. Just be happy, bro. But in spite of that, I'm doing better now. And for a while I was more sensitive than I am now. For a while I didn't like hearing anyone talk about suicide because it made me suicidal. I didn't like hearing anyone talk about them being sad because it made me think that there was no hope. Everyone was sad. Everyone's just faking it. The way I felt, my depressive feelings were actually shared by everyone. I was just the only one who was getting hit like hard enough by it for like it to really affect my life. Sadness is forever and everywhere, and everyone is afflicted by it at all times, and there's really no point in pressing forward or trying to improve anything because there was no improvement. That's just life. I'm just aware of it now. And I was wrong on every single point. That's what it does. Depression, it lies to you. What are you going to do? It was dumb and gay. Or dumb and fag, as the trans kids would say nowadays. Why am I talking about all this? Well, in part, it's as a disclaimer because I want to indicate that I'm really not trying to bowl over the interests here of people who I consider overly sensitive. But it's also to indicate that this is kind of the angle from which I will be approaching it. Sensitivity can mean a lot of things in the English language. you can be sensitive in the sense that you can be sensitive to others' feelings. Like you can be very receptive or big, big heart ear, you can be sensitive physically in the sense that you touch shit and it's like, you can be sensitive in the sense that you're very in tune with your own emotions. You're very emotionally intelligent. You're very capable of sort of figuring out what's going on in your head at any point. But the kind of sensitivity that I am talking about, and I think we all know what kind of sensitivity I'm referring to here, but let's elucidate it for any of those who are confused, is fragility. The ease with which one can be offended, the ease with which one collapses, the ease with which one is brought down by words mostly. It's fragility or weakness. I think a lot of people on the left are very weak. Now I hear the hemming and hawing and the what have you. Oh, Vosh, didn't you lose your shit on stream and such and such? Well, yes, I get angry. I do. But in terms of weakness, in terms of the ease with which my perception, self-perception, the ease with which my ability to engage with others, I'm actually pretty hardy. You can go look at my conversations with Nazis. I went on the kill stream, and chat, you guys saw the fucking kill stream, right? Or at least the video of it, right? You saw me. I think I handled myself. I think that was pretty okay. I can deal with that pretty well from opposition. I tend to get upset when I'm getting criticism from people who I consider to share, I think I share political interests with. But for the most part, I think I'm okay. But the fact that I'm even having to talk about this right now is only an indication that whenever I bring this problem up, people in a very bad faith manner try to ignore or invalidate what I'm saying by saying that I'm a part of it too. So, you know what? Fuck that. Let's stop defending myself. Maybe I am as sensitive as you. Okay, sure, whatever. I don't need to come from a position of strength, only from a position of knowledge. And I think that's okay. That to talk about that sort of in this way. There are consequences to weakness in this respect. I talked earlier about stuff like woke scolding and purity testing and gatekeeping and cancel culture, and I'm talking about those things, I think, because there's something the left likes to do. This is from the last drawing. There's something the left likes to do. Everyone likes to do it. And it's to build social spaces. A social space is just a place you can go to and just social space. I'm not going to fucking define it for you. Put in some fucking effort. Social space. Everyone likes social spaces. I'm going to draw a happy face here. I'm going to draw one more. Social space. See? And the left loves these. Everyone loves these, The left does it better than anyone else. Right-leaning social spaces are pretty fucking bad. I've been on plenty of reactionary and even Nazi discords. These people are not happy, not supportive of one another, generally miserable people. We should not seek to emulate that. However, there is another type of space that is associated with political sort of advocacy, and that is an advocacy space. Not a social space. We can draw that right here. An advocacy space doesn't exist to provide comfort for the people within it. That's what a social space is. Comfort, support, happiness, friendship. It's important to stay happy. That's good. But an advocacy space isn't about those things. It's not about the needs of the individual. An advocacy space is oriented, basically, to advocate for your ideology as effectively as possible. These are places that exist to radicalize, to plan, to coordinate. And these two spaces have different needs. See, the left one, the social space, can be kind. It can be warm and accepting. And it's often good for marginalized people. If you're mentally ill, it's probably good to be in spaces like this. Generally speaking, having a strong, healthy social life helps with mental illness. It just makes you feel more involved, part of a community. Advocacy spaces can't really do that because things like comfort or mutual respect are sometimes less important than ruthless argumentation and raw practicality. The right is much better at this. Is everyone aware of the place called Stormfront? It's a website. It's a Nazi website. Stormfront dot something. I don't know if it's com or net org or what have you. Stormfront was and still is a haven for Nazis, and those Nazis will brigade other websites using templates that are provided on Stormfront. They're given these documents, you see, and it will give you talking points for Nazis, FBI crime statistics, black crime, demographics, this and this and that. It'll give you pointers on how to argue in bad faith. Always run by these points as quickly as you can. Skip by, skip. Always talk about white race, capitalize W in white, never capitalize the other races. There was a full, I wish I had it in front of me. It exists. You can Google it, probably find it pretty easily. It was a full, essentially a reading guide on how to engage in Nazi propaganda. And the reason why something like that was able to come out of Stormfront was because even though Stormfront was a Nazi website for Nazis, Stormfront wasn't this. Stormfront didn't really exist to provide comfort or care, support, or socialization to the people who used it. This was Stormfront. Stormfront was, from day one, and continues to be, a space for radicalization. A space to, as efficiently, as brutally, as severely as possible, disseminate your ideology. Yeah, that's what Friend World was for, too. And that's also what Poll is for. And that's also what all of 8chan is for. The left mixes these two spaces like a motherfucker. The left cannot differentiate between the two. Many people on the left are very bad at differentiating between the two. So for people who want social spaces, they're going to be treated to the same purity testing and ideological gatekeeping that you would expect from an advocacy space. And for people who want to engage in advocacy, they're going to be fucking woke scolded by people who are interested in cultivating a safe little fucking social space rather than building actual advocacy. This happens all the time. There are so many people who treat the left like a social space. And it's really wild when you think about it. The left isn't a social space. The left is a political vehicle that's supposed to be an alternative to capitalism and fascism. It's supposed to encompass the interests of every single human being on Earth. It's supposed to reach out to people. It's supposed to confront hard truths. It's supposed to save the world. Pardon me for being, grandiose. And that's the goal, though, right? It's supposed to reach people. It needs to do what needs to be done. There's no room for mollycoddling when it comes to political advocacy. You need to be able to drop people at the flick of a card when it's necessary to do so. You need to be able to clash with other ideas within that space to find better ones. You need to be able to test ideas. You need to be able to decide, hey, we need to go radicalize people there. We need to bring these people in. You need to be able to bring people in, to include them, and then to pull them towards your center, towards your ideological, core. So a rhetorical space, a space that is oriented around advocacy, could be like, imagine 5chan. 5chan, It's like 4chan. One more. It's 5chan. Maybe there already is a 5chan. I don't know. 5chan, okay? And instead of having a pull thread, politically incorrect, full of Nazis and what have you, instead of all that shit, 5chan is a web board that has roots in leftist advocacy, much in the same way that 4chan, shortly after its conceptualization, fell to the interests of reactionaries. 5chan keeps in line with ours. The web host, a lefty, maybe a crypto lefty, so people don't get too agitated about it, you know? And these boards, their pull, their A, their V, these are fierce fucking battlefields for political advocacy. But because the moderators are on our side, because the admin is on our side, we are capable of doing to that space what the reactionaries did to theirs. We turn this into an edgy breeding ground that serves as a fermentation for political radicalization, for people coming over to our side. And you'd want to do it properly. You don't want people who are just like Nazbols or class reductionists or whatever. You'd want to do a good job with it. But it worked for the righties. It can work for us too. The problem is, this isn't going to be a good social space. This is not going to be a good place to go and form a social bond or a friendscape. This is horrible for that. Worthless for doing that. What it would be, however, is politically effective. And that's the distinction that I want to draw here. Too many people on the left are more interested in building a social space than they are in building political advocacy. So these people will go on Twitter and they'll treat the left like it's their own personal Discord group. They'll be like, "Oh, you like to call people dumb and you occasionally use the term like woke-tard? You're not a part of the left." The fuck are you talking about? You're not the fucking the fucking litmus test. Dip your fucking wax paper into my hole and see what color I come out, huh? You're not the fucking litmus test for who is and is not on the left. Fuck you. You're trying to build friends is what you're trying to do. That's what these people do. A lot of them do this shit on Twitter. You know you've seen it. Check it out. Hypers if you've seen it. People treating leftist advocacy like you're trying to find who is and is not going to be a good friend for you. Enforcing the kinds of insanely partisan purity testing that would only function within incredibly small friend groups, but then extrapolating them out to the entirety of your political space. I would never do that. When I'm thinking like, oh, political advocacy and like who should be in the left, when I think who shouldn't be in the left, like, for one, there's no such thing as being in or out of the left, because that's kind of reductive, you know? In reality, the left is sort of like a broad set of points that you may correlate to more or less than the other, you know? The left, like in a classical sense, means anti-capitalist progressive, but there are people who are less progressive who are still on the left, and there are people who are extremely progressive who are considered on the left, even if they're more reformy, suck-demi than they are proper socialists. So this whole who is and isn't the left is like really dumb, and anyone who says you're in the left or you're not in the left, this is again it's very reductive. But this is a thing. This is just a thing that happens. The reduction of political spaces to social spaces and enforcing all of the same prejudices, all of the same biases and expectations and unreasonable metrics that you would enforce on a social space, except instead to the broader political space. Horribly ineffective, mind you. Righties don't do this, and that's why there are so many more of them than there are of us. You know, it's not a coincidence that all those horrible Ben Shapiro, like Rex SJW libtard cuck owned videos on YouTube have like millions and millions of views, and why Steven Crowder has like 4 million subscribers. There's a reason why these things are the case, but our biggest breadtuber has like 700,000 subs, ContraPoints, and just her, that. There's also TYT, but TYT is hardly leftist these days. There's a reason for that. And it's not just corporate backing. It would be very convenient for us if we could just blame everything on the fact that they better collaborate with business interests. A lot of it is just because we don't do a very good job of including people into the left. So they don't move left. They move right. They are never made a part of our spaces, so they never feel the need to demonstrate a willingness to participate with them, to better themselves, to move further into them. Because that's how radicalization works. And there's a reason why people do this, and I'm going to share with you after I blow my nose, because that's what I want to do. So that means the left creates Nazis. Every single time there is a broad group of people who could be made leftist but are ignored because it's not deemed worth our time, we are indirectly contributing to whatever right-leaning radicalization they will later experience. Unquestionably. There's a reason why this happens, and it's half the left's fault and half just an inevitable product of how the left is designed, really. And it's because lefties are fragile. Go to any leftist Discord. There will be people in there constantly talking about their suicidal ideation, talking about how they just can't with their life, their job, their family members, their friends, victims of abuse from partners. I'm not saying that those make them bad people. It doesn't, not by any means. And I'm not saying those things don't happen to right-leaning people either, because they do. But the social spaces that the left cultivates are much more based around shared weakness than they are around shared strength. I mean, I have a Discord. Like, I know. There are thousands of people in my Discord. I've been to other lefty Discords. I promise you. I promise you I'm speaking from a position of understanding here. Communities of shared weakness are really, really bad at political advocacy because political advocates need to operate in different environments than which a more sensitive sort of social crowd would want to cultivate within their own community, within their Twitter group, within their Discord. And it all comes back fundamentally to sensitivity. What I want to see, because I don't want to see sensitive people kicked out of the left, I want to see a better distinction made between the needs to form a social space and the need to form political advocacy. I talked about this in the first video I did in this incredible 4-part series, where I talked about gatekeeping and how it's important that, hey, if you want to have your own little space up here that's very like pure and very calm and cool and clean, that's okay, and you're free to do that. However, the left is bigger than you. And we can pull on an even larger group of people if we want to move them over to the left too. Further and further and further. And some of these people in, say, this section might be a little bit more rough around the edge than the baby section over here. I'm going to do that pink. Might be a little bit rougher. You know? Do you see? Maybe a little bit more slurs. Maybe a little bit more irreverent performative cruelty. And performative cruelty can be very helpful for radicalizing others sometimes. Very radicalizing. I'm just saying, it's an effective tool. Don't leave tools on the ground, folks. They can be helpful. They can be important. You have to keep your space here, but you have to recognize the existence of other spaces outside of it. And that's very, 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 very important. Because every single space that you leave white, every space that you make no effort to build political, like a political base from, you are leaving essentially to Nazis. You leave it to them. And Nazis are willing to go harder, to go stronger, to work harder and work longer than you ever will be able to radicalize. Because Nazis are part of a death cult. Nazis are part of a death cult. They do not care whether or not their friends or comrades or whatever die. They cross their fingers and they gloat when the shootings happen. When they hear one of their fucking comrades get shot after killing 18 people in a synagogue, they meme to the fucking sun with it. There's no funeral for this person. It's glorious celebration. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. They died for their race. They're always going to be able to go harder than you will. So you need to do the fucking best you can, or you're leaving it to them. All of this space that you leave open belongs to them. You know, what's the phrase? Today the country, tomorrow the world belongs to me tomorrow. All of this is theirs if you do nothing with it. And not all of the space that you extend your will to can be this space. It can't all be like this. It can't all be like this little throbbing pink-red heart. that you live that is very sensitive and very much in line with your needs. It can't do that for you. It can't be that for you. But these people, if you really want to look at it from a perspective of self-interest, these people are your shields. You, and I'm sorry, speaking from experience here, typically mentally ill, suicidal ideation, trans people who are living very difficult lives and have very sensitive friends because you have very specific needs for your social spaces, Godspeed. I want you to live long and prosperous lives, but you're not going to be able to do it on your own. You need people around you. You need fucking edgy white dudes who say the fucking retarded sometimes, okay? I'm sorry, if they're willing to, if they're not transphobic, if they're out here on the left, if they're going to out here fucking radicalize others, defend people, argue fucking pro Bernie Sanders, fucking pro Medicare for all, if they're going to go out there and argue against, like, for the necessity of reparations, if they're going to go out there and argue against fucking the great replacement Nazi theories or whatever fucking dumb shit they're throwing out there, you need them. If they're edgy and they say slurs sometimes, I'm sorry, cool, don't let them into your own private fucking Discord. But they're part of the left, and they're the wall that will keep you safe. These people, even if they're further out there, even if they're fucking libs, dude, what if these people are just like, oh, well, I don't know about a $15 per hour minimum wage or nothing like that, but I don't really know if I feel comfortable with the extent to which the Trump administration is collaborating with neo-Nazis. I don't care. Work with them. If you don't, if you leave them out, that's just more space for the Nazis to take. Every single time you keep a group of people, you woke scold, you purity test a group of people out of the left, every single time you do this, you capitulate more ground, and you will be the only ones left. Don't get me wrong, you're not like single-handedly capable of canceling the left or whatever. They'll still be around you, even if you don't like them. What if I'm right here? I do my work all the time for trans shit, fucking anti-Nazi shit. Do you really want me gone? I see this all the time from communities like this. Do we really want someone like Vosh defending us? Bitch, I'm sorry. If I occasionally am edgy, you can't afford to be picky right now. You literally can't afford it. Now, if you want to draw lines on who we consider with the left and who we consider not the left and what have you, at least let them be reasonable ones, okay? Like, for instance, probably not going to bring any race realists in just because they believe in a socialist revolution. I'm not a fucking Nazbol. No, thank you. I personally don't like tankies because I feel like tankies are generally dishonest actors who are more interested in like in like capitulating to like a form of authoritarianism they like that will invariably lead to the suppression of marginalized groups. I consider them to have different class interests than me, in my personal opinion. But a lot of tankies are also just confused and very stupid in my experience. So I don't know. Rad libs? I'll take rad libs. I don't fucking care if you're a lib but you're like pro-trans or whatever. We need you. We need you. And you need us. We all need each other. We all need each other. Allow your sensitivity to guide you in your day-to-day lives, to help you determine who you want to be friends with or who you want to build a social space with. But the moment you let your sensitivity towards this or towards that affect the extent to which you're willing to coalition build, you're not just hurting us. You're barely hurting us. The left continues with or without you. You're hurting yourself. And the more territory we gain, the further we are able to push, the more we move the Overton window forward, the more we put the Nazis on the back foot. I want to envision a world where people, edgy white boys, go on 4chan and argue fucking pro Bernie Sanders talking points. I want to live in a world where Nazi websites are considered like wildly fucking off the beaten track again, like they were 10, 12 years ago. I want to live in a world where the average edgy fucking libertarian white boy in high school is like, Yeah, like, oh yeah, like you're libertarian, because, the more the government does, the more they'll fuck it up. Haha. Like how much the government fucked up trans issues. I bet that private corporations, would have done a much better job of protecting trans rights, doody, because I would rather have that than them going, I would rather have fucking private based corporations able to kick people out, like using the wrong fucking bathrooms, because that's where we're at right now. We've set the scales too far to the right. We've capitulated too much ground. We throw our hands up in the air. We said the left is pure, the left is good. We are not going to sully the left with the company of those who don't share our values. But then we isolated ourselves because we assumed that the only ones who shared our values were people who looked and acted exactly like us, who use our terminology, who are familiar with all of our fucking sophomore year sociology class, gender and like social theories, who are familiar with the constantly changing terminology that we use to describe marginalized communities. I'm reminded by the trans asterisk, trans no asterisk, trans no space woman, trans yes space woman, LGBTQA, LGBTQIA, all of that shit. I'm reminded of all of the ways, all the little ways in which we slowly made the left a very, very comfy place for people who are already left-leaning, and a very inhospitable place to everyone else, ensuring, if nothing else, that our numbers would, at least proportionally, shrink every single year. Meanwhile, every single fucking community the right touches becomes the right's. Do you notice what happened to gaming? Like gaming, like gamer culture. Before 2014, gamer culture was just like dude bros, and like women would get made fun of on Xbox Live. It was bad, don't get me wrong, but Gamergate was a process by which right-leaning people successfully infiltrated, exploited, and took control of the culture of the largest medium that currently exists on Earth. And now, gaming and gamers is in a large way reactionary. And we gave that to them. And I remember the conversations back then, back in 2014. Do you have any idea how many people I saw throw their hands up and go, whatever, it's fucking gaming. Who cares? Those shitty dudes want to just fucking be with their Gamergate shit. Whatever. They don't deserve us. And then we walked away. We gave YouTube to them. We gave the entire fucking gaming culture sphere to them. We're barely taking back indie gaming now. And we did all of it. We did all of it because we were more interested in keeping the left pure than we were in making the left strong. And that's the problem with purity. And you can ask a Nazi, because they're big on this in the racial sense, but that's the problem with purity. It only exists insofar as you're capable of defending it. And we're not. Not like this. It's a difficult process. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. We can build a better left. We're already making good strides in this direction. Several years ago, someone like me would not have been accepted in basically any leftist circles. Several years ago, we had capitulated all of YouTube to the reactionaries. We're making good progress, but that progress comes at costs, and sometimes that cost is with our comfort. Sometimes we have to recognize when our desire for a socially pure, comfy space is getting in the way of our need to build a strong left, because we need a strong left or we're all going to die. I would rate that, I assume, higher than your comfort, personally. Please, just do your best to interact with the left in ways which you believe will maximize the potential of long-term strength. Radicalize people. Include people who weren't included before. You want to know, and I'm going to leave this one last point, I guess. One last thing. I debated Hunter Avalone a little while back. He's a Republican YouTuber, and a little while afterwards, I think it was actually the same day, some people from chat popped up. His chat, his fan base jumped in to debate me, and I talked with them. A lot of them were young. Hunter's young. I'm young. A lot of them were young. There were kids there. One of them, I think, was in middle school. No shit. I don't think I'm above talking to younger people. I think it's lovely. There are middle school Nazis. Fuck yeah, we're gonna have some middle school anarchists, huh? And I talked to some people after that, quite a few, to quite a large audience. And afterwards, the emails I got from kids, mostly kids, saying, "Hey Vosh, that was really funny or really cool. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you for talking to him or her, or them or they. Thank you, that was cool. I never really thought leftists could be like you. And, well, whatever. See you later." And then the next week, I'll see him in chat. And the next month, I'll see him in chat every day. And the month after that, I get a donation from them. "Hey, Vosh, I didn't really know that leftists could be like that. I didn't know they could be like you. Thank you. I guess I am one now? I don't really know. I'm still figuring it out, but most rewarding feeling in the world. Really, really is. Better than any donation." That could be our everyday if we're more willing to reach out to people who we don't already believe agree with us. If we're willing to extend our reach. Some of those kids were right edgy cunts, by the way. Talking to them the first time, some of them were real pricks. But hey. Anyway, that's it. That's it. That's the four parts. And though I imagine many of the people who have watched or listened to this already agreed with my broader prescriptions about the left, I would like it, I guess, if people framed leftist rhetoric and leftist discourse in this way a little bit more often. You don't have to like attach my name to it or anything. Just go out there, There was something somebody said on the BreadTube thread recently when a clip from my stream was posted, and they said, it was a clip of me, and they said, "Don't like that this point had to be made with so many slurs." However, Vosh is right. We can't really build a strong left if our heads are too far up our own asses woke scolding ourselves. If nothing else, just follow through on that principle, okay? Even if you disagree with me or dislike me, just recognize that different groups have different needs, and sometimes those needs may conflict with one another. But the greatest need we all share is a shared need for a strong left, because it's the only thing that's going to keep us alive. All right. There we go. There we go. That was it. That was it. That was the entire stream. That's everything I have to say with my problems with the left. Comrade Sophia, is that person by any chance Boot? Because I'm done talking to Boot. Is it legal to like Yang on your server now? Friends, anything is legal on my server, okay? Bestiality, necrophilia. Did any woke scolds answer your debate call? Nope. They sure do hate arguing in favor of their own points. It is a lot easier to condemn me when you never have to talk to me. There's actually a surprisingly long delay on the stream right now. I think the encoder may have busted somewhere. I think right now there's like a 10-second delay. Oh, sorry. Comrade Sophia, I understand your concern, but I can't deal with those people anymore. 16-year-old trans nosbols are like a breeding ground for mental illness, and I don't feel comfortable engaging with that. I know that sounds callous, but like, but yes. Holy shit, dude, my fucking sinuses. Okay, actually, I take it back. I'm supposed to be able to talk to anyone. Comrade Sophia, just DM me. I'll think about it. Okay, I'm going to go over donos, and then I think I'll chill for a second, and then I'll dip. It has been a fairly tiring stream. Comrade Courtney, you've been very kind today. With the $5, hey Vosh, you should go over Calvin Guerra. He's pretty dumb takes about transmedicalism, dysphoria, and NBs. Calvin Guerra. Ah, they've talked with Blair White. It makes sense.
I never thought it would happen. I never thought it would happen.
Shut up. Oh yeah, this is literally the trans dude.
I
Blair
never
White.
thought it would
I remember this. Look at this fucker. Well, they also look a lot like Hunter Avalone. IMO?
Happen. I never thought it would happen, you guys. But I think I have finally found a trans trender worse than Brennan. What's up, you guys? Calvin here, and welcome back to
Little bit. I'm glad that trans dudes get their own Blair White too. Larry Banks with the $5. My cynical take on people owning the business is all it takes is one person or few to take it what was justified caused to something. Owning the business is that all it takes is one person or a few to take it what was once justified caused to something work. Owning the business? I don't know what you mean by owning the business, Larry Banks. Do you mean co-ops in general? Hammer time with the $1. People on the left have forgot the views or changed their experience. I've had the same argument with old union types who want to exclude the trans SJWs because they're not real leftists. Yeah, true. It's kind of funny to think that right now there are like 65-year-old like paleo leftists out there who are just confused by all the fucking like trans nerds online. Did you bro convo tomorrow? Maybe. Fucker has to respond. He's hard to fucking get on. Red Eye Sam, thank you with the $2. Or the U.S. sanctioning Japan for Nanking massacre. Yes. I remember the first dono. It's all coming together now. Ellie Rogers 12 with the $5. I'm going to talk about how things that would ultimately be good are bad, because said things would be bad in a perfect anarcho-whateverist utopia, and apply the standards of our said utopia to the world. Woo. True! Not true. 100% Ellie Rogers. We all gotta fucking chill. Okay? Gotta work with the world we're given. Zayfrajin with the $5. You needed to expand on your point about good imperialism example. When you mentioned invading Saudi Arabia immediately with the invasion of Nazi Germany, you didn't do that in the final point. In the final point? Well, I didn't want to invade Saudi Arabia. I said to place sanctions on them. Maybe. I don't know. Thick Boys in Anime with the $5. Communism is when you own Adidas tracksuits, and the more tracksuits you own, the more communist you are. Fuck. Good thing I'm an anarchist. Beyonce with the $5. Vosh, the problem I see is that often in these spaces, being disabled, POC, insert disadvantaged group confers a lot of social capital on lefty advocacy groups. Can we try to prevent this dynamic? Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, by the way. Guys, listen, I know that a lot of you are trans or black or whatever, and you're mad because you've been treated like shit for being trans or black. It's not cool to go into the left and then create social spaces where you treat people like shit for being cis or white. I'm really fucking sorry. You're not improving anything, and you're all alienating a lot of fucking people. And a lot of those people are good people, and it's reasonable to feel a little bit alienated if you come into a space and you're unironically being made fun of for being a fucking white dude. Oh, Agate Cassie, thank you, comrade. White people cute, though? Everyone can be cute. Hold on. Galian with the $2. Vosh, you've said you want a transitory state between now and anarcho-syndicalism. What do you want that state to look like? Market socialism. I want a strong central government with strong regulatory agencies that help guide the broader market sector economy of a communally owned businesses towards meeting national and like populace voted on goals. That would be my goal, ideally, and it would be a representative democracy, and then we could like funnel into more radical systems with time. Cola Horn with the incredibly generous Tier 4 subscription. Holy shit, comrade! Thank you very much. Enjoy your yellow name. Getting ready for the Civil War, but not the one the president is talking about. Yeah. Hey. Cola Horn, remember, by doing a Tier 4 donation to me, you have infinitely increased the likelihood of the left succeeding, okay? Well done. I am proud of you. Thank you. How do you feel about Tito, then? I need to read more on Tito. I need to change the fucking subcolors. Make it a different gradient. Why not direct democracy? My understanding is that direct democracy doesn't function typically that well within a state apparatus unless you have like a really, really good system for facilitating like a synchronicity between the will of the population and like the general voting patterns. I love you too, Flower Yo Garden. We will all be unity. We will all experience blessed unity soon. Is that doorknob 24 karat gold? Yes, my entire house is made of gold. That's all from your money. Happy to get you, Kanga. All right, hold on. Bryce Burrell with the $5. Vosh, I wonder if you want to have a conversation on policies on sexual assault and harassment if you have time in this stream or the next. Thanks. Did you mean with you or in general? I don't know what positions I could have on those policies that would be like particularly interesting, you know? I know you do, Hyena. Like, my policies on assault and harassment are going to be that it's bad and arresting people. I don't know. I mean, the Pi 314 man with the $10 still waiting in the big brain epistemology. I know. I've talked to King Crocoduck, and it does seem like it's going to happen. I've agreed a lot with this. Every right-winger I've stayed friends with, I've radicalized in my politics, be a comrade to all. I promise you the Crocoduck destruction will happen. We're following each other on Twitter. It's near inevitable. 100%. Yeah, I saw this twappy. Fucking Hong Kong blasted nuts inside a fucking, and by nuts I mean bullets, and inside of I mean through. Yep. Dude, Hong Kong is so fucked. What the fuck? Hold on. I'm going to dip after I read these last sub messages. I'm admittedly rather tired. Bro9698 with the $1. When you mean we will all die without a strong left, do you mean everyone or just people that lean towards the left? I mean everyone, dude. Mostly, like, more so us, but pretty much fucking everyone. Like, it's not as though the population of Germany responded that well to fucking Nazi Germany. Like, they ended up getting counter-invaded and fucking horribly oppressed, and our marginalized communities will get fucked over. Even people like fucking Blair White and Anthony Bryan Logan, you know? Yeah, but, how did we get to talking about lollies in chat? What the fuck happened? Don't really understand your hate speech shit. If we're going to revolt either way, what we're doing is illegal. U.S. for suppressed revolutionaries now. Let's throw a shitstorm. Kanga, because there's a lot of work to be done until the point of revolution. I think we're at least 50 or 60 years away from a revolution. 100%. So until that point, I would want us to be unfettered in our free speech, and then we can throw it off when the time comes. And to Katie with the $5, I appreciate you. Right back at you, comrade. That's me flicking your nose. Can we see the baby? Okay. We're going to take a look at the baby, and then I'm dipping. Hold on. Wait, hold on. I mentioned everything being legal, so we're talking about lollies. Oh, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I 100% am against the government being able to criminalize drawings of any kind. All right, hold on. Eh. I tried to bring him here without waking him up, but... No. No. Where are you? Baby. Listen to the purr. What was that noise? All right. All right.
Did Humphrey walk by or did he? Oh. Yeah. Oh no.
Okay. He returned on his own.
Because he saw Humphrey.
Well, okay, I was trying to catch him first. Howdy. All right. Go team. Sawdust Sean with the $1. Hey, you didn't read my earlier Streamlabs. I have a strong opinion on juice. Damn! That anti-Semitism. Is the kitten fixed? No, that's coming soon. We have an appointment scheduled. Did I vote for Obama? Yes. You're doing it up, Kanga. All right. Thank you, my friends. As a final privilege, we can all admire cake, because I'm still sore from leg day, and my enormous, fucking yoked, 2 weeks out, jacked, high tier protein muscles. I love you guys. Thanks for the stream, okay? You have a good one. I changed my shirt? No, I didn't. What?